Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening, Beelzebub. Beelzebub sounds far better than Beelzebub. I might as well live out my Chani fantasies now that I have the opportunity to do so. I watch as Maharaga is devoured in a purple whirlpool. Now Odin should be able to analyze Maharaga's abilities. I don't think I will get any skills out of it until I return to the Cardinal World, seeing as skills are only rewarded in the Cardinal World. Maybe if Odin becomes capable of making skills on her own, then I'll be able to gain skills in other worlds, but for now I have to hope that the voice of the world will reward me with an adaptation skill when I return. Theoretically it should give me a skill for adaptation, seeing as it can hand out skills based on how proficient you are in something, and since Odin has all the data on Maharaga's adaptation, it should be enough for the voice of the world to recognize. Now that Maharaga is dealt with, what should I do now? I'm leaning towards sticking around and fucking with these 2 since I've already derailed their fight. I start clapping as I descend towards them. Gahaha, what an interesting fight you two, Gojo Satoru. He was proud of himself for that hollow purple improvisation. He even regained his reverse curse technique from the black flashes he landed. He truly was the strongest. Sukuna is down. A Maharaga has slowed healing, and can't do any damage to him without domain amplification. Things were really looking up for him before this guy showed up. He stared at the mysterious newcomer as he tried to think if he had heard of someone like him. Is he one of yours? Asks Sukuna. It wasn't that surprising that Sukuna was able to survive his hollow purple, but a man can hope. At least it looks like he's on his last legs. He was also able to get Maharaga with the hollow purple, but this new guy might just be more troublesome than Maharaga, or more fun than Maharaga. No, never seen him before. Maybe he was sent by one of the surviving higher-ups? Could he be one of their hidden cards? No, with all the stunts he has pulled in the past, they would have used this sorcerer to pressure him into compliance. Hell, they probably wouldn't all be dead if they had someone like this in their back pocket. So a completely new variable. Maybe one of the new Jujutsu sorcerers that Kanjaku created, or one of the ones from hundreds of years ago that incarnated in the modern era. Since he has an infinity of his own up, it's more than likely he's a Gojo from the past if that's the case. Though for him to be able to use it all despite not appearing to have 6 eyes shows unfathomable levels of skill. His facial features increase the likelihood that he is from the Gojo clan, with his white hair and blue pupils, but he hasn't heard about anyone like him from the elders or the clan archives, and they aren't foolish enough to hide information on someone like this man from him, the clan head. And then there was his black sclera. That definitely isn't natural. Could he be a cursed spirit of some kind? Maybe a former Gojo clan member that died and became a cursed spirit. He might have intervened due to plain curiosity. After all, if he is a cursed spirit, then he should be more than capable of living for a long time. It would explain his mastery over Limitless as well. He's had countless years to master it after all. With the amount of power he is releasing, he isn't someone to underestimate. Pure power-wise, he was stronger than even Sukuna. Someone as powerful as this guy should be well known. The mysteries surrounding him keep increasing. The energy he is releasing is quite odd as well. It isn't quite cursed energy but feels slightly similar to cursed energy. His speed isn't to be underestimated either. He couldn't even see him when he appeared in front of Maharaga. It seems he can't be called the fastest Jujutsu sorcerer anymore. Are either of you going to say anything? Because the way you are both staring at me so intensely is starting to make me feel self-conscious. The enormous grin on his face shows he is highly amused. Ah, he can tell he's going to like this one, unless he tries to kill him and everyone he holds dear. You never know with these powerful figures. But first things first. He nearly misses it, only seeing it due to his enhanced thought speed, but he grabs Sukuna by the forehead as he moves past, but instead of dragging him along, just yanks Sukuna out of Megumi. He did wonder how Sukuna's true form would look. Having an extra pair of arms and an extra mouth is extremely useful for a Jujutsu sorcerer. So that's what you look like, Sukuna the king of curses. Not gonna lie, I thought you would be taller. Raiden, make sure the child's body is fully healed. I should have completely healed him though. He appears to be processing a lot of information, which I have had it split into smaller chunks and then sped up, so he will likely wake up shortly instead of never. Also take him to his friends watching us through the crows, and just hang out with them until I'm done here. Wait, another one? Where the hell did she come from? And is she a maid? And did he say he healed Megami? If he did, then he owes him one, especially since Megami's injuries are likely to be life-threatening, seeing as he had to handle the load for unlimited void. Yes, master. She disappeared faster than even I could see, but there was a flicker of electricity, a lightning user perhaps. And she is already with my Mai and the others. These two monsters just came out of nowhere, and is that a fox on his shoulder? Why is there a fox on his shoulder? Is this how other people feel when he constantly does crazy shit? Wait. That fox has 9 tails. Could it be? How was Tamamo no Mei reborn so soon? It seems to have a different form this time around as well. He noticed Felix had turned to look back at a still shocked Sukuna with a Cheshire grin, who he had dropped in front of him. Now do you want to dance? Sukuna quickly got off the ground. Well, being looked down on like this is a first, and I have to say, it pisses me off. Ha. Does it? What are you gonna do about it? Attack like a king or bitch out and pull your finger stunt again? That would be good too if you were responsible for doing that to yourself. I would thoroughly enjoy seeing how it's done. I even healed you up completely. It would be disappointing if I didn't get to witness how strong the so-called King of Curses truly is. He had a feeling he was being sarcastic at the end there. He better get out of the way. He can use this time to heal up completely, and maybe team up with this newcomer to take on Sukuna. This wasn't a fair fight anymore anyways. You'll regret that. He teleported to the side with blue just as Sukuna attacked the newcomer. The newcomer easily avoided Sukuna's punch, and even had the audacity to appear in front of Sukuna and flick him into a building. He turned to look at him. He made sure to be careful in case this guy decided to attack him, but his worries proved to be for nothing. By the way, my name's Felix. It would be impolite to not introduce myself after all this. He finally got a name for the face. He hasn't heard of a Jujutsu sorcerer, or cursed spirit named Felix. Hell, he hasn't heard of anyone that looks similar to this guy, and is this strong. I'm Gojo Satoru, the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer in the world. He gave a wave as he introduced himself. Felix looked amused. I see, I'll call you Satoru then. But the strongest sorcerer, eh? I guess you can keep that title seeing as I'm not a Jujutsu sorcerer. So a cursed spirit then? Well, at least this one seems much easier to get along with than the rest of his kin. I'm not a cursed spirit either. What? What does he mean, not a Jujutsu sorcerer or a cursed spirit? He is far too powerful for a need to lie, which means he believes himself to be something else entirely. Maybe it has to do with how his energy is similar but ultimately not cursed energy. Maybe he is a transcended cursed spirit. Something similar to what Tenjin would become if he continued to evolve further? Oh? It seems Sukuna's domain just expanded. Wait, why did it halt just after capturing Felix? Sukuna would definitely try to catch everyone possible in it as well, and this is definitely not his max range. Yeah, your fight is with me, don't try to involve others. He appears to be holding it back from fully forming somehow. He even seems to be able to use reverse cursed energy as well, as he appears to be healing from all the wounds he should be sustaining so fast that he wasn't even able to see any wounds form on him. What an absurd level of healing. All while still having a grin on his face. Wait, the fox is still on his shoulder and is also healing? Well, not as quickly but still quick enough to not care. It also appears to have this alternative energy. In fact, all three of them have it. He doesn't even know what's going on anymore. Since there is such a large open area, I might as well have some more fun. Crimson Black Blaze, king of myriad worlds, though I promulgate the laws of nature, he strikes a pose as he starts chanting. I am the alias of destruction incarnate, in accordance with the principles of all creation. Let the hammer of eternity descend unto me. Why does this chant sound so familiar? Explosion. Boom, wait, now he recognizes it. Did he just use a technique from fiction? He remembers watching an amusing anime that caught his interest that had something like that. He came to the realization that this is all just a joke to him. He had a feeling that even if he and Sukuna were at full power and worked together, he doubted they could take him. He sensed an incoming attack heading for Felix from that assistant of Sukuna's. But it seemed to just be bait, as that assistant of Sukuna's headed towards the explosion, likely to make sure Sukuna was okay. He wondered how Sukuna was able to inspire such loyalty. Felix waved his hand dismissively at where the assistant was. Interrupting my fun like that is no good. All of a sudden Sukuna's assistant falls flat to the ground. Have fun with all that increased gravity. He was even capable of manipulating gravity? What other abilities could he have? Sukuna was able to recover quickly from the explosion. Enough games. Dismantle. Felix looked surprised for a moment before a look of understanding appeared on his face. Oh? How interesting, your attack seems to be capable of breaching my infinity. This must have been your trump card against Satoru. What? He found a way to break through infinity without Mahiruga? All of a sudden Felix stops and turns towards the observation room with a raised brow. Ah, that girl, always taking things too far. Did something happen in the observation room? Felix must have noticed his concern. Don't worry, no one is fatally injured, my maid just sometimes gets upset on my behalf and takes things a bit too far. You guys are free to refer to me as Felix, no need for the honorifics. He gave a brief nod as Felix turned back towards Sukuna. Well, now let's get back to you. You must have learnt this from Mahiruga, right? It must keep on adapting after finding the initial solution, and it came upon a way of breaching infinity which you can replicate. Your attack works by targeting everything, space, the world, quite an interesting way to get past infinity, I must admit. Unfortunately your attack wasn't able to get past my multi-dimensional barrier, so tough luck. Still, that's quite impressive. When I came to this world I didn't expect for anyone to be capable of breaching my infinity, so that deserves praise. What does he mean, this world? Going by his words he believes he is from a different world, and he has no reason to be lying. So is it true? Are there other worlds out there? Words from his long-gone best friend were brought to the forefront of his mind. Are you the strongest because you're Gojo Satoru? Or are you Gojo Satoru because you're the strongest? If there are other worlds out there, then maybe he will have to find out. Hell, Felix, his subordinate and possibly even his pet fox are stronger than him? He's practically toying with Sukuna. Curse techniques can be quite simple, but they are capable of some interesting things when used to the extreme. Now how about I give this a try? Felix waves his hand in a cutting motion. Could it be? Cleave. Oh, there goes your arm, Yuji Itadori. Is Fushiguro alright? That pretty purple-haired lady that was with the other new guy who also looks similar to Sensei, arrived from the battlefield holding him. This young man is fine, my master was gracious enough to heal him when he grabbed the one known as Sukuna out of his body. Whoa. She has nice long legs and a great ass. He saw everyone tense up. Yuta ended up taking the lead. Who are you? I am just a maid to my master. My master ordered me to come here and stay with you, so that is what I will do. There is no need to worry, I am not here to harm you, it wouldn't matter anyway, after all. You're weak. Didn't Sensei say something similar to the Mount Fuji cursed spirit? Hopefully it doesn't trigger everyone here like it did to the other guy. Great, another Satoru. He heard Shoko-san mumble. Satoru is the white-haired one we interrupted the fight of, yes. That's right. Yuta-san adds some, well, compared to this maid, he and Sukuna are also weak. So there is nothing for you to be ashamed about. If Sukuna is so weak to you, his maid, why is he taking so long to deal with him? Are you perhaps stronger than your master? Asks Kashimo-san. All of a sudden he and everyone else here barring Kashimo-san, who falls face first to the floor, fall to our knees as it feels like the world is falling down on us. I will give you this warning just once. Do not insult my master again. You will not enjoy the consequences. As if a maid like me is comparable to my master, I am but an ant compared to my master's magnificent power. He is likely just having too much fun and prolonging the fight. Great, he really is another sensei. She helped Fushiguro, so that's a plus in his book. Once she released the pressure on them, he quickly got up and asked, Maid-san, do you know when Fushiguro will wake up? Everyone else also got up, though Kashimo-san, and a few others had sweat running down their faces. She looked towards him. My master did not tell me when exactly, but I would say within the day. I see, thank you, Maid-san. The name my master gave me is Raiden. Her master gave her a name? Did he know her since she was a baby or something and named her? Man, he must be old if he knew her when she was a baby. He doesn't look old though. He looked towards the screen showcasing the fight. Did he just flick Sukuna into a building? Awesome. Everyone in the room looks surprised except Raiden-san. After all, Sukuna is the boogeyman. He seemed like a completely unstoppable force for anyone except Sensei, to see him being toyed with like that. And is that a fox with 9 tails on his shoulder? A Shikigami of some sort maybe? Was Tamamo reborn already? My asks, it's possible, but it seems to be far too short of a time period for a special grade cursed spirit to be reborn in, at least that would explain its change in form. Said Shoko-san, so the fox is a special grade cursed spirit then? Who is this Tamamo you all speak of? The only people present over there are my master, Kurami, Sukuna and Satoru. The fox is named Kurami? Kurami? We haven't heard of any cursed spirits named Kurami. The only similar 9-tailed fox cursed spirit is Tamamo no Mae, but it was exorcised a few years ago. What is a cursed spirit? While I do not understand how you could be unaware, a cursed spirit is the formation of an entity from the leaked negative emotions of humanity, generally of something they fear, like the myth of the monstrous nine-tailed fox of our past, or fear of volcanoes. Chuzo-san explained, looking exasperated at her ignorance. Interesting, so the fear of the masses can cause the birth of that very fear. How intriguing. I'm sure my master will be interested. Ah, by the way, my name's Felix. It would be impolite to not introduce myself after all this. Felix, so that's his name. It's definitely a foreigner's name despite him looking similar to Sensei. Felix, that sounds Italian. Ah, Yuta-senpai is really knowledgeable. To see the fallen toyed with like that is quite amusing. At least Angel's goal of killing Sukuna appears to be getting closer if Felix-san ends up dealing with him. I'm Gojo Satoru, the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer in the world. Ah, it's just like Sensei to introduce himself like that. I see, I'll call you Satoru then. But the strongest sorcerer, eh? I guess you can keep that title seeing as I'm not a Jujutsu sorcerer. Is he a cursed spirit then? I'm not a cursed spirit either. Huh? Are there other races out there then? Maybe he just hasn't learned about them yet. He hasn't had much time to focus on his schooling with everything that has been going on after all. Impossible. Going by Gokigane-san's reaction, maybe not. There are no other races. Even Kusakabe-san is agreeing, then why did he say he isn't a cursed spirit, or a Jujutsu sorcerer? Oh? Are you calling my master a liar? He could feel there was a dangerous hint to her words. He really didn't want to push his luck after she already warned them once, and it seems like everyone else was thinking something similar. Oh no, Miss Raiden, I think the principal is just pointing out that we haven't heard of there being any other races. He meant no disrespect. Thankfully Yuta-san was able to calm her down. Humphrey, I see. It seems she isn't going to go into detail about what her master is then. Everyone continued to watch the fight through the screen. Eventually Sukuna got fed up and used his domain expansion. He didn't know why this Felix guy would heal Sukuna up, but as long as Sukuna was dealt with, he didn't care. Yeah, your fight is with me, don't try to involve others. Huh? How is he able to hold back the domain expansion? It looks like it's trying to form, but isn't able to reach its max range. This battle is constantly opening my eyes on how much we don't know about domain expansion. Stated Noritoshi-san Salmon. No, I don't have any idea how he is doing that. Not even Maki-san knows, huh? The other more experienced sorcerers don't seem to have a clue either. It could be a new anti-domain technique. He has already shown himself to be incredibly strong. He might have some hidden abilities he has developed. His apparent elder brother comments. You could be right, Chuzo-san. But while these two are fighting, I think we should continue with our plan to deal with Kenjaku. Sukuna should be occupied long enough so it is possible. Yuta-san is right. You're right, it's best if we get Kenjaku out of the picture as soon as possible. No one wants to see what sort of monstrosity will be born from Tenjin-sama's merger with all of Japan. Seeing everyone's agreement, Yuta-san looks towards Takaba-san. You remember the plan? Yup. I'll weaken him up for you, and then you deal the finishing blow. Yuta-san nods and they quickly leave. Thankfully Raiden-san didn't say anything. It seems she was honest when she said that she would just wait here for her master to finish. Since there is such a large open area, I might as well have some more fun. Crimson Black Blaze, king of myriad worlds, though I promulgate the laws of nature, I am the alias of destruction incarnate, in accordance with the principles of all creation. Let the hammer of eternity descend unto me. Isn't that an explosion spell from Konosuba? Can you recreate that in real life? Boom, holy crap. Is he insane? Causing that much unnecessary mass destruction. Don't worry about it, the fight between Gojo and Sukuna was bound to be messy, with this third party intervening. Let's just be grateful that it isn't aimed at us since he seems to be aware of where we are. Maki-san is right, plus saying anything more would likely piss Raiden-san off, and he did not want her to get angry. He had a feeling if she did it would not bode well for them. It seems one of you is aware of your place. He could tell some people were pissed off by her comment but didn't act out. Her show of power was still fresh in their minds after all. Oh, even that ice user was dealt with easily. Man, this guy is overpowered. Being able to manipulate gravity is scary. He's able to control gravity on top of his other abilities. Haha, I think it's best if we don't antagonize this guy. We don't stand a chance against him. Omomo-san is the same as ever. Hey, speak for yourself, girly. I'm interested in fighting Miss Maid over here. I could tell you used lightning when you appeared here. I wonder who's the better lightning wielder between the two of us? Ah, Kashimo-san was known for manipulating lightning, wasn't he? Raiden-san looked towards him with a raised brow. I refuse. I only fight when my master tells me to, or when he is disrespected. Besides, a fight against you would be boring. Huh. Enough games. Dismantle. They all focused back on the fight. Sukana's dismantle wasn't able to do any harm though. Oh? How interesting, your attack seems to be capable of breaching my infinity. This must have been your trump card against Satoru. What? Hold on, this guy has his own infinity? Everyone in the room was surprised by what he said, a way to get past infinity? Even the principal was surprised. Something like that has never been heard of without a cursed two-lord domain. Said my-san, it's a good thing that this guy intervened than this guy? How dare you? Holy shit, she just zapped Shoko-san. He wanted to punch her but the pressure returned, leaving them all immobile. She still yet lives, as I was not given permission to kill any of you. Whether she survives will be left up to my master. You are to refer to my master as Felix Sama from now on, or you will find yourselves in a similar predicament to that disrespectful woman. I'm as sorry. Shoko-san is okay? Ah, she must have used reverse curse technique. Ah, that girl, always taking things too far. He noticed? How good are his detection abilities? Don't worry, no one is fatally injured. My maid just sometimes gets upset on my behalf and takes things a bit too far. Doing that to Shoko-san is just taking things a bit too far. Since my master does not want me to punish you further, I will release you. He sighed in relief as the pressure was released. You guys are free to refer to me as Felix, no need for the honorifics. No thank you, he will refer to him as Felix Sama, seeing as he values his health. No one wanted to antagonize her further, seeing as she was capable of easily immobilizing them all with what seemed like no effort. Seeing as Shoko-san didn't want to pursue the matter, no one else brought it back up. Still, to think it's possible for Sukuna to have learned how to breach infinity from Mahiruga. Fushiguro had a really strong Shikigami then, huh? They continued to listen to his explanation, but were caught completely off guard at the end. A different world? Correct, it seems my master has decided to reveal this fact, so I will explain. My master desired a vacation of sorts, so he came to this world to relax and have fun. If any of you get in the way of that, I will be very cross with you. Just keep that in mind. Gah. Raiden-san is being really intense. Hopefully no one does anything stupid to interrupt this guy's vacation. I see, thank you for the explanation, Raiden-san. Said Chuzo, being from a different world, would explain all these unique abilities he has demonstrated. I haven't heard of any cursed technique that has as much variety as the abilities he is showcasing. The closest would be limitless. It would also explain his claim of being a different race. Though that he has limitless and white hair raises odd questions. Said Noritoshi-san, now how about I give this a try? Cleave. Oh, there goes your arm. What? This cleave technique of Sukuna's is quite fun to use. I can already picture it. There is someone weak attacking me, and then in an instant they are missing their arms or legs with the bare minimum energy required to accomplish it. I could do something similar with our Ouroboros by separating the space a limb occupies. What a convenient technique, I think I'll keep it. It only works on those with cursed energy. Thankfully I had Odin convert a minuscule portion of my magicules into cursed energy as the fight began. I wasn't lying after all, I was curious about how strong the King of Curses was at his peak. Him not being able to target me with his domain or other abilities would make this fight even more boring. I was able to have Odin easily recreate Sukuna's cleave with a combination of battle will and arts. Now it isn't technically the same ability, just a recreation. I only called it cleave to mess with Sukuna, but maybe I'll gain a skill for it back in the Cardinal world. That would be fun. After all, skills can be rewarded if you have the prerequisite knowledge for something. Cleave is essentially just a slashing attack that adjusts itself depending on how tough the intended target is. The tougher the target, the more cursed energy that is used in order to make sure the target is cut down in one attack. In my case, I have Odin determine how much magicules I need to power it depending on my desired result. His other ability, Dismantle, basically targets everything else, like inanimate objects, but as seen earlier, it does have some high-level usage seeing as it is capable of cutting space and the world itself. Dismantle should also work on sorcerers and cursed spirits. Sukuna just has to manually target them. Now I'm getting bored of this. Now how should I deal with Sukuna? Ah, maybe I can take him back to the Cardinal world. I am curious how he would evolve after all. Sukuna isn't quite a human anymore, but neither is he a cursed spirit. When he was possessing Megami, he was similar to a demon as he was possessing Megami's body. When I separated Sukuna from Megami, I forced him to revert to his original form, and since this world follows different rules from the Cardinal world, he was able to stay incarnated. If I do take him to the Cardinal world, I do have to worry about his loyalty though. Do you have any solution to that, Odin? If the master consumes the individual known as Sukuna with Beelzebub, Odin can modify his entire being as deemed necessary. It would be possible to make him absolutely loyal and obedient towards the master. Huh, do I really want to do that? Am I willing to cause the personality death of someone? He is my opponent, so there isn't really a need to show him mercy. Pretty sure he has done some fucked up shit for shits and giggles too. Plus, I just can't find it in me to care all that much about the current Sukuna beyond his combat capabilities. Alright, go for it. Maybe he can be a butler? My very own Diablo. I looked towards a shocked Sukuna. It seems he was surprised by me copying his cleave. Thanks to thought acceleration, my conversation with Odin was basically instantaneous, so the shock hasn't worn off yet. Alright, time to finish this up. I appear behind him, Beelzebub. Yes. Let the Chani flourish. I turn towards Satoru with a grin on my face. Okay, now that that's done, let me introduce myself. My name's Felix White, Demon Lord Extraordinaire from another world, and formerly from the Gojo clan. Hello, cousin. Huh? Chapter 57, Introductions. I thought my introduction was good, and going by the shocked look on Satoru's face, it did just what I wanted it to. After all, I'm here to mess around, so I might as well get started immediately. It looks like Satoru was able to heal himself with reverse curse technique while I was messing around with Sukuna. He's almost in peak condition. Satoru quickly composes himself. My cousin, eh? I didn't know I had a cousin as strong as you. Yup. I wasn't strong at all at first, but then shit happened and now here I am. That's as good a reason as any. I knew I would like this guy. So if you're a Gojo, how did you find yourself in another world? Explaining shit multiple times is such a pain, so let's go join all the voyeurs watching through the crows. I wonder if she has such a habit? Though with such a nice body I don't see why she would need to. Be careful with my, she not only charges for everything but at outrageous prices. Everything? This will get an amusing reaction. I've never seen her do anything for free, so yes. So how much would she charge to let me bend her over a table? Hey, the looks upon their faces is priceless. I feel Kurumi nip my ear for some reason. How odd, she's usually extremely obedient. I turn to look at her, but she turns her head away. Oh well, maybe she's just feeling rebellious. Well, you'll have to ask her yourself. I've never needed to pay for a service like that. Hey, neither have I was just curious how far she was willing to go for money. Before I forget. I pull over the white-haired fellow who tried to help Sukuna. Here, consider this a gift from me. I almost forgot about that. Hey, thanks. I'm sure this gift of yours will help calm some of those old fogies down. You can just set him on the ground and I'll have someone come pick him up. As I set him down, I feel something in his sleeve. Oh, what is this? I pull out a weapon of some sort from his sleeve. Oh, a weapon. I think I'll keep this if you don't mind. I put the weapon in my stomach before Satoru responded. I'm interested in the so-called cursed tools. Go for it. Before we go, what year is it? It's 2018. I see, thanks. It's been a few years then. After that, it didn't take us long to walk to the room where everyone was observing from. Once we got there, I could feel everybody in the room except Raiden tense up. I however ignored everyone and approached a pouty Raiden. I patted her head. There, everything is fine. I don't care all that much about you going too far, just keep it in mind next time. Not everything needs to be solved with overwhelming power. It seems my head pats cheered her up. Yes, master. I look at my hand with utmost seriousness. Truly it is a weapon that must not be underestimated. To think it was capable of cheering Raiden up in a moment, it truly is a forbidden move. I must only use the secret art of head pats in dire circumstances from now on. I'm astounded by my own power sometimes. I might be getting too overpowered for my own good. I turn to look towards the voyeur group, which Satoru joined. Most of them seem wary of me, but that's natural seeing as I just manhandled their greatest enemy. I'm surprised they aren't shit scared, but I guess they are used to dealing with some horrific stuff, and might be far more jaded when dealing with powerful beings. After all, even Megumi was able to keep his cool when Sukuna came after him at that prison. Though Satoru seems fine, in fact he seems to be the only one who looks completely chill with what just happened, maybe the panda as well, seeing as I can't read the expression of a panda. He probably sees life differently from everyone else anyway. Hey, well it seems we have much to talk about. Satoru took the lead, indeed, but before that let's get something to eat. Is everyone okay with ramen? Ramen, huh? I haven't had that in a while. Or maybe I can have Raiden make something for everyone. I do have some ingredients from the cardinal world in my stomach, so might as well make use of them. How about my maid cooks? I have some ingredients I'm sure you've never heard of, so it'll be something new for you lot. Notice, it is highly likely anyone from outside the cardinal world would survive consuming ingredients from the cardinal world due to magical poisoning. Oh shit, I didn't think of that. Any solutions, Odin? Odin can use data from the unique skill, cook, to get rid of the magiciles from the ingredients while keeping the taste and texture. For real? Could you do that then? Yes. Thanks, you're lifesaver. Oh. Food from another world sounds fun. He turns to look at his companions. You guys fine with that? Seeing as no one disagreed, I looked towards Raiden, who understood what I was trying to tell her. Understood, master. All I need are the ingredients you have stored and a kitchen. If there is no kitchen, then I can likely make do with magic. I take out a bunch of ingredients from my stomach and hand them to her, after which she stores them in her own spatial storage. I notice the group looks surprised. After all, to them it must have looked like I took out some food out of nowhere. Satoru is the only one who might have a clue as to what just happened, seeing as he has the 6 eyes, and limitless, which allows him some degree of spatial manipulation. I nod and turn towards Satoru. Do you guys have a kitchen for her to work her magic in? I think there should be a kitchen somewhere we can use. He turns to look at U-Time. I think her name is, U-Time. Do you know if there is a kitchen anywhere that wasn't destroyed? So I was right, her name is U-Time. I'm on a roll. Why do you think I would know, Gojo? Isn't it your job to know all that stuff since you're weak? You need to have some use, right? Ouch, that one's gotta hurt. I think I do remember that Satoru bullied her a lot. Amusing. U-Time looked to be on the verge of tears. Shoko-san, help. Gojo is being Gojo. Sigh, now is not the time for your games, Satoru. I think she's the one who Raiden zapped. She seems fine to me, so no biggie. Either that or she has a mean poker face. As long as she doesn't make a big deal about what happened, I don't really care. Maybe I should give her something to bribe her just in case. She looked towards Raiden. There is a kitchen I know of. I can have someone show you where it is if you want. She's being polite for someone who is zapped with a fuck ton of volts. I don't think cursed energy helps ignore pain, and being zapped hurts a lot. Trust me, I would know. Maybe they are just used to dealing with pain, and over time grew to ignore it. These Jujutsu sorcerers are used to putting their lives on the line, and it wouldn't be odd for any of them to die out of nowhere. Guess they just live in the moment, and tend to not want to cause problems if at all possible. How convenient. Raiden looked at me as if asking for permission, so I gave her a brief nod. Yes, I would appreciate that, Shoko-san. It seems they're getting along well enough. I see, I'll have someone show you where the kitchen is. It didn't take long for this guy with glasses to show up and take Raiden away. Once the two of them left, we all take a seat at the table, and Maki, or at least I think that's Maki, interjects. She looks quite different from what I remember. What with all those burns, she's even missing an eye. She probably got fucked up by that volcano-cursed spirit. Are we sure leaving her alone is a good idea? I look towards her. I did like her character in the anime. She was someone who was born with jack shit when compared to some other sorcerers. She was born with a heavenly restriction. She was born with no cursed energy, but a gifted physique instead, though not on the level of Toji Fushiguro. It seems that the heavenly restriction is somewhat biased. After all, the only reason I can think of as to why I was incapable of seeing cursed spirits and using my innate technique, Limitless, originally, is due to having a heavenly restriction of my own. However, I didn't really get any benefits. My physique was stronger than natural, but nowhere near superhuman. I really got fucked over, huh? But I was also lucky to be reincarnated twice, so I guess it evens out? I even prefer it this way. My current life is good. If I never had a heavenly restriction, I would probably be toiling away, trying to reach the same heights as Satoru, even though that would be basically impossible without the 6 eyes. After all, Limitless is extremely hard to use, bordering on impossible without the 6 eyes, and as far as I know, I didn't have any sort of cheats until I was reincarnated in the cardinal world. Still, for Maki to want to become strong and show up those shitty higher-ups deserves praise. No matter her reasons for it, she got a bad draw, but she's trying to make the most of it. In fact, now that I'm analyzing her, her physique isn't bad. She would probably be between the level of a high B-rank adventurer to an A-rank adventurer in the cardinal world. Someone significant for the vast majority of the world. Not everyone is a complete monster after all. Raiden will be fine. I told her not to cause any more trouble, so she'll listen. As long as none of you instigate her, you'll be fine. In fact, why don't I give Maki a boon? I can also mess with everyone at the same time. I think a high potion should be able to heal all her burns. Odin, can you dilute one of my full potions 20 times, and put the resulting high potions into bottles that will dissolve into harmless dust on impact? It is done. Great, thanks. I would do it now, but Satoru looks like he is about to start speaking. Then that's fine then. While we wait for the food, how about I introduce everyone? He pointed to a small group of students. These are my students. That's Maki-san, Panda, Toge, and Yuji. You've already met Megumi, who is just having a little nap, and my other student Yuta is out finishing something up, so I'll introduce you to him later. Those two are Kinji-kun, and his pal Kaira Ura-kun. Over there are some of you time students, Momo-chan, Noritoshi-kun, and Miwa-chan. Now say hello everyone. Huh, he didn't mention Nobara? Wonder what happened to her. It wouldn't surprise me if she died though. This world is not kind to Jujutsu sorcerers. Nice to meet you, please take care of me Felix-sama. Yuji said with a bow. No need for the honorifics, I don't care much for that kinda stuff when not in a formal setting. Sorry sir. But I'm terrified of your maid and don't want to upset her anymore, sir. Yeah, she can be a little intense sometimes. A little intense, he says. Maki mumbles to herself. My grin just widens in response. Nice to meet you. Momo mumbles. Hello. Says Miwa, it's a pleasure. Bows Noritoshi, I think he is part of the Kamo clan and he inherited the innate technique they are known for, blood manipulation. Haha, I can tell your fever burns hot. I'm pretty sure that's the Genji that Satoru introduced. I have no clue what he is talking about but sorcerers are a weird bunch. And I assume the one next to him is Kairaura. I haven't seen a real-life femboy before, but this guy fits the description to a T. If it wasn't for Odin, and my extraordinary sense I bet I'd confuse him for a girl. Salmon. I would have no clue what he is saying if it wasn't for Odin being able to decipher what it is he is trying to say based on his expression, mood, etc. Salmon generally means something positive. His words can't have a precise meaning seeing as if someone understands exactly what it is he is trying to say, it will set off his cursed speech. Yeah, nice to meet you or whatever. Maki says not really putting much effort in. Hey, now she deserves to be messed with. Odin popped the high potion into my hand. She is currently across the room so I have to make sure I use enough strength so that they can see it approach but will be unable to stop the potion, but also not enough to instantly blow her face up. Gojo will be able to intercept seeing as I won't be putting all that much strength into it, but I can just shut down his infinity as he uses it and lock him in place so he can't physically block it. I feel the potion appear in my hand and move into a baseball pitcher swing, one of those really wasteful ones where they raise one foot into the air to show off. I can tell that they understand something is going to happen, but their brains aren't able to send the signals fast enough for them to react. Batter up. I say as I throw. Like I expected, Satoru extended his infinity right in front of Maki, which I easily override at the last possible moment to allow my potion through, where it impacts her chest leaving her wet, but not in the good way. All of them are just shocked, including Satoru, unable to compute exactly what happened. Cheer up sour butt, which is a very nice spot by the way, this might even help you with that ha ha ha. Then before everyone's astonished eyes her scars start healing. In just a few seconds she is fully healed. If I really wanted to inflict harm on one of you, do you seriously believe you would be able to see it? You guys need to relax. If I wanted to hurt you, I already would have. I watched as Maki touched her face all over. How? That was just a high potion. It can heal some minor injuries and I was curious if it would heal your burns. Safe to say my curiosity has been satisfied. Salmon. Well Maki-san, your burns are gone. No shit Yuji. Hee, wait until Yuta sees this. Shut up Panda. And you call a missing eye a minor injury? It seems Maki hasn't come to terms with her burns and injuries being healed, huh? And what's this about Yuta? Do Maki and Yuta have a thing going on? That's kinda funny. The former shy nerd, and the muscular tomboy, who knew? I'm capable of regenerating my entire being even if my soul is destroyed, so a missing eye is quite tame in comparison to that. Satoru butts in, now that's some regeneration. Also thanks for healing my cute student. Yeah, no problem. Now let me introduce you to everyone else. These are the active Jujutsu sorcerers, and assistant manager, U-Time, Atsuya, Ijichi is over there, and that's my Mai, the one you wanted to know how much she would charge you to bend her over a table. Hey, a few of the kitties blush. That's unfortunately not something up for sale. Unfortunately? Yes, because I would make an absolute fortune if it were, but as much as I love money I'm not a whore. So she has standards. Haha, that's good. I'm not one to pay for sex, I prefer to work my charms. Satoru waits to ensure we're finished before continuing. Interesting woman that one. She has a pretty odd hairstyle too. Her little brother, and then there is Shoko. So that's my Mai's brother, no wonder he has been glaring at me this entire time. Nice to meet you Felix-sama. I give her a brief nod. U-Time reminds me of a lesser Shuna, what with their whole priestess shtick, and by lesser I mean a far lesser. Honestly now that I think about it they aren't even comparable. Shuna would stomp this chick with 1% of her power, maybe less. I'm doing the same thing as Satoru, poor U-Time. Though I don't know who this Atsuya guy is, seeing as he is even in this room he must be at least a semi-first grade sorcerer, or hold a key position like that glasses guy from earlier. I'm pretty sure he was Satoru's assistant. Then that's the principal of Kyoto Jujutsu High, don't mind him, he is always like that. Ah, so that's the guitar guy then. He seems quite grumpy. If I remember right, he is someone who always follows traditions. It's part of why he and Satoru don't get along, seeing as Satoru does the opposite of that. Pretty sure he was also a dog of the higher-ups of Jujutsu Society. Hopefully they won't cause me any trouble. So you are Felix White then? That's my name, don't wear it out. I see, assuming you are truly from another world, may I ask what your intentions for coming to our world is? Didn't Raiden answer this already? I roll my eyes at him. Is your hearing walking out on you in your old age? I am pretty sure my maid has already answered this. I personally don't have any issue with him being here as long as he does not plan to threaten the humans. Seeing the fallen toyed with like that was oh so amusing. I look towards the voice and notice a blonde woman. That wasn't the part one was focused on though. She has a halo and angelic wings. I didn't know angels existed in this world. And it seems she is possessed in a manner similar to Yuji with Sukuna. After all, there is a mouth formed on the side of this woman's face, though the host herself doesn't seem to have any issues. Now that I take a closer look at everyone in the room, quite a few of the people here are possessed. Weird. But seriously, an angel? Those guys are bad news in the cardinal world, what with their attacks every 1,000 or so years, though I don't think this woman is related to them. And she called Sukuna the Fallen. Could there be angels and devils in this world? I don't think there are, as Odin hasn't sensed anything like that, but who knows? This angel doesn't even seem to have any sort of holy power either, so maybe her abilities are just similar to that of an angel. There are all sorts of cursed techniques after all. Indeed, he saved my beloved Megumi, so I do not care for why he is here, but I am grateful for his arrival. Man, even Megumi got a chick? Just what the hell has happened in this world? So you're really just here to have fun, Felix-sama? Also, what's up with the Kyubai kitsune on your shoulder? I turn towards Yuji. Yup, I am just here to have fun. I have no reason to conquer the world or whatever image of me you have conjured up in your head. Oh, maybe I'll buy a few video game consoles to take back with me too. Also, this here is Kurami. She insists on being called my pet, but she's more like my subordinate. I look towards her on my shoulder. Come out and say hi, Kurami. To the astonishment of them all, Kurami turns from a cute little kitsune into the voluptuous woman she is. Hello, I am Kurami, named as such by my master. So you really aren't Tamamo no Mei then, huh? Kurami looks confused at this. No, my name is Kurami. Ah yes, perfect answer. I see, sorry Miss Kurami, you just seemed similar to a cursed spirit that we know of. One of Gito's former cursed spirits, right? I can see how you might mix the two of them up. Satoru looks surprised at what I said. Yeah. Tamamo was one of his strongest cursed spirits, but how did you know about her? I give him a wink. Secret. He makes a goofy face. Bleh. First that fearsome maiden, now this woman. Are you naming and recruiting subordinates from the crib? Who are you? I have no clue who this guy is. He seems to be one of the guys in a possessed body. And his cursed energy is a bit interesting. It feels almost electric. It seems to be independent of a cursed technique as well. Ah, it seems I've forgotten my manners. My name is Hajime Kashimo, a sorcerer from a bygone era. So you're just someone who has outlived their expiry date, and yet continues to cling to life? Is this a Voldemort situation? He gives me a bloodthirsty grin. Haha, nothing like that. I just wish to fight stronger opponents. I originally wished to face Sukuna, but it seems that is off the table now. Ah, a battle maniac, I see. If it comforts you at all, Sukuna would stomp you in a one-on-one. He just looks amused at my comment. Even so, I would have wished to find out on my own. Still, even better than Sukuna is the one that toyed with him. I raise my brow. Is that your way of asking for a fight? Sorry, but I'm not interested. You're far too weak to even be a way to kill time. He really is related to Sensei. I hear Yuji mumble in the background. If you want a fight, then feel free to challenge Kurami or Raiden. We're here to have fun after all. You could be a nice stress relief toy for the two of them. But don't blame me if you die. I feel Kurami's tail start to swish back and forth. Ah, you truly give me such amazing presents, master. I have been wanting my summons to work on something, and this man would make a perfect test subject. No problem. It isn't going to be as easy as you make it sound to beat me. I'm always up for a good fight. Especially against such powerful foes. It's good that he isn't offended by my shit-talking, though I wouldn't have done it in the first place if I thought he was the kind of guy who got angry about that kind of stuff. May I switch back to my other form now, master? I find it far more comfortable to sit in your lap, or on your shoulder. Yeah, sure, I just wanted to introduce you. Kurami smiles happily as she switches back to her cute fox form and takes a seat in my lap. I start to casually pet her, causing her to yip cutely. I look towards Satoru, giving him the signal to move on, which he thankfully understands. Anyways, that angelic-looking girl is Hana, that over there is Chuzo, one of Yuji's siblings, and that is Hirumi-san, he's a lawyer. I didn't know Yuji had a sibling, though this guy seems to be part human, part cursed spirit. I didn't know that was possible. How fun. It is nice to meet you, Felix-sama, thank you for dealing with Sukuna. It's no problem, I was getting bored watching and was curious about how strong the King of Curses was. Still, thank you. What a polite guy. I look towards the last person Satoru introduced, the lawyer. He's got a nice suit at the very least, but he looks like he just went through a midlife crisis. He does the standard Japanese greeting with a bow. Hello Felix-sama, it is a pleasure to meet you. Nice to meet you as well, lawyer guy. Great. Now that everyone is introduced, we can get into the fun stuff. At this, Satoru looked at me. If you're willing, at least Felix. I'll agree to that if you answer some of my questions afterwards, and I'll only tell you guys what I feel like, don't expect me to go into detail. The only reason I'm bothering with this is since I do like some of you guys, and it would be impolite to just crash your party and leave, but don't push too far. I could tell they understood what I was trying to say, which is good. I didn't want to come to this world only to have to deal with a bunch of bothersome things. I wasn't going to let my vacation be ruined by anyone. Hopefully it doesn't result in me having to purge some people, that would be unfortunate. I've been infected by Lalatina, what with me saying purge instead of kill. I should have expected her degeneracy to spread. Oh well, now how long should I even stay here? I don't want to be separated from everyone for too long. This trip was mostly to test out my ability to travel worlds and have a nice break for a short period of time. I guess I'll just go back to the Cardinal world after getting everything I need, and having some fun. I can always come back after all. I am kind of excited to see what Odin does with Sukuna. I wonder if he can become a divine cursed spirit of sorts? Experimenting with these kinds of things is always fun. Satoru gives me a grin. Alright, that's fine. I'll answer some of your questions. Just tell us whatever you want. I don't really care what you get up to as long as you aren't a menace to society, though I don't think I can stop you either way. For some reason Satoru seemed almost happy when he said the last part. I guess it was truly lonely at the top for him. But now he has discovered that there is more to the world than curses and sorcerers. I could feel that Kurumi was paying attention. I haven't told much of my backstory to my subordinates, so she's probably curious. Everyone else was also paying close attention. The principal was probably going to report whatever I say to those higher-ups, but oh well, if they cause trouble I can just get rid of them. I remember Satoru wanted to do something similar but didn't do to Yaga's suggestion, but I have no such thing stopping me. Well, back when I used to live in this world, I was pretty normal, went to school, studied, hung out with friends occasionally, the normal high school stuff. You're only in high school, Felix-sama? I look towards Yuji. Well, I've been alive now for just above 30 years, so do with that information what you will. Man, I'm getting old. I died at 16 in my first world, died at 14 in my second world, and I've been in the Cardinal world for 2 to 3 years. Anyways, I eventually died and got the standardized Kai experience. I trained, got strong, and eventually became a demon lord with a territory of my own that I rule. That's about it. That's the most basic summary possible, but hey, it's what they're gonna get. Sounds like you had quite the adventure then. Now what I'm curious about is why you weren't brought into the Gojo clan when it's clear that you inherited a cursed technique. I bet we could have had so much fun together. I hate to burst your bubble, but if I never died, then I would not be anywhere near as powerful as I am now. I'm similar to Maki-chan over there. I had a heavenly restriction, so I had no cursed energy of my own, and I didn't have a very powerful physique either. I bet we still could have had some fun. I'm guessing that there was something in that other world of yours that allowed you to make use of your innate technique? Yeah, you could say that. No point in explaining skills and all that. Still, it's incredible that you were able to master Limitless to such a high level without the 6 eyes. It's generally impossible to use it as well as I've seen you use it. Well, the multiverse is vast. I haven't seen even 1% of it. I'm sure there's all sorts of interesting things out there. That sounds fun. An adventure throughout worlds. Hey, I'm hoping it'll be tons of fun. I wasn't going to offer to bring any of these guys to the Cardinal world. After all, I do have a general idea of most of these guys' characters, but I don't know nearly enough about them for me to feel comfortable offering something like that. The only real reason I can think of to bring anyone from another world to the Cardinal world is due to wanting to see how they develop. What sort of skills would they get? I'm curious what direction Satoru will develop. Our starting skill sets are extremely similar, though he doesn't have the cheat that is Cursed Sage, and its evolution Odin. But the 6 eyes might become something similar. But I won't let my curiosity get the better of me. They are all unknown variables. It would be pretty dumb to allow them free rein in the cardinal world. Who knows what unique skills they might get? They might get some absurdly broken skills comparable to my own. Maybe I'll bring those I'm sure I will be able to control. I'm sure I could recruit some interesting beings from other worlds and have them serve me. I'll consider that another time. Huh, am I a hoarder? I guess I am. I like to hoard power for myself and my friends. Oh well, the more you know. I could probably take them to worlds other than the cardinal world though if I ever become friendly enough with any of them. Maybe I could build a gate of sorts that connects a bunch of worlds together. I can let people I like travel between worlds without being a taxi. That sounds like a fun project, even if it doesn't see much use. Maybe I can connect a few worlds to one house, or building. I'll have to think about it. And since my power will be maintaining the connection between worlds, I can lock people in other worlds. That would be an interesting way to deal with an opponent, just lock them in a dead world, or lock them in the void between worlds. Odin, could you work on seeing if the idea of a world bridge is possible? Answer: it is theoretically possible to create a portal to another world with our Ouroboros, however the Master's Magiciles will constantly be drained in order to keep the portal open. I see, so it is possible then. I don't need to worry about the Magiciles since Magicule Breeder Reactor will take care of that. Maybe I can do that in the future, once I've discovered more worlds. Though I don't see myself giving many people access to something like that, maybe only my direct subordinates, and friends like Rimuru, Veldora, and Milim as long as the last two are supervised. Those two can get out of control real quick. It just isn't in my nature to give a bunch of goodies out freely. I am quite greedy after all. I'm also lustful, and prideful. I guess I embody a few sins then, huh? Look at me, on a journey of self-discovery. I lower my thought acceleration now that I'm not lost in my thoughts. I tend to subconsciously activate thought acceleration whenever I'm in the middle of something and get distracted. It's a useful habit. It allows me to process all my thoughts as they come to me. Now I have a few questions of my own. What's up with those barriers all around Japan? I can also sense a bunch of cursed spirits throughout Japan. You definitely aren't going to be able to keep Jujutsu Society a secret, that's for sure. Hey, as the saying goes, shit happened. Most of the world is already aware of cursed energy, cursed spirits, and us Jujutsu sorcerers. Kenjaku made sure of that. Satoru actually looks excited at this. Maybe because it lines up with his goals. He wants Jujutsu Society to change after all, and what better way for it to change than having to adapt to everything that has been going on. Kenjaku is the guy that was puppeting Gito's body, right? You even know about that, huh? Yeah, that's Kenjaku. I see. I'm curious, have you guys figured out his goals? At this point I just want to know how this is all going to end. Huh, yeah we did. He believes that cursed energy has more potential to be unveiled, but he thinks that human beings can access that potential rather than cursed spirits and Jujutsu sorcerers. That's an interesting theory. How did he plan to test his theory? Cursed energy has some relation to Magiciles, so it wouldn't be a surprise if there was still more potential in it. He planned to force all the humans in Japan to evolve by merging them with Tenjin. As Tenjin's soul is at a higher state, he believes that merging the humans with Tenjin will create beings superior to Jujutsu sorcerers. However, there will be no boundaries between individuals due to such a mass merging. The impurity of all of Japan's people will spread throughout the world, likely creating the strongest curse to ever exist. How interesting. Now I'm curious about what would happen if such a plan was successful. How strong would such a curse be? Stronger than Sukuna and Satoru? How exciting. Sadly, my theory won't ever get to be tested. I'm not the kind of person that would doom a world for curiosity. Tenjin is an interesting figure what with his immortality and so-called evolution. He was also said to be a master of using barriers. He was the sole person keeping Jujutsu Society hidden from the masses. I remember that Tenjin was said to have been capable of evolving further, though it was also said that he would lose all sense of self and become a shell of his former self. It would be interesting if Tenjin simply misunderstood his evolution. After all, something like that has never been seen before. Everything he knows is basically just a guess. Who knows, he might have been evolving into an enlightened or something similar. During such an evolution he would go unconscious for an unknown amount of time, since I doubt the voice of the world will help to push things along like it does in the cardinal world. He might have misunderstood that as him losing all sense of self? Hell, maybe binding vows are deals that Jujutsu sorcerers make with the voice of the world? So much fun stuff to learn about. Kenjaku's plan theoretically would be successful too. Assuming Tenjin is a pseudo-enlightened of sorts, then merging his soul with that of humanity's is bound to create something brand new. What a mad scientist. How does Kenjaku plan to force Tenjin to merge with humanity? He already has Tenjin under control. Tenjin has evolved into a being more similar to a cursed spirit than a human, so Kenjaku was able to use cursed spirit manipulation to control Tenjin. then my guess of him evolving into an enlightened is most likely false, unless cursed spirit manipulation doesn't allow the manipulation of cursed spirits, but rather spiritual beings. If so, then that is a fearsome technique. That sounds interesting. I'm assuming that you have a plan for dealing with Kenjaku then? I'm pretty sure that no matter how interesting Kenjaku's theory is, it isn't in your best interest to let his plan be successful. That's probably where Yuta is. I didn't bother trying to look for him, but now I'm curious. So that's Kenjaku? It seems he and some other weirdo are doing some weird comedy shtick. It looks like Yuta is hiding while waiting for Kenjaku to be worn out. Hold on, what kind of technique is that? Notice, Odin has been monitoring the surroundings through the body double and has been observing the fight between the entities known as Kenjaku and Fumihiko Takaba. It has been detected that Takaba's technique allows him to change reality to a limited extent. When Takaba is certain that something is funny, it will become a reality. Excuse me? What the fuck is that? That sounds broken as hell. Definitely not letting that guy go to the cardinal world. Fuck that. Such a technique would theoretically let this guy beat fucking Satoru or Sukuna, the two strongest people in this verse. Though it is limited by his own sense of humor. Hell, I can see such a technique beating me if I let this guy into the cardinal world. With enough time he should be able to evolve it into a fearsome skill. It wouldn't affect me currently, seeing as I am far more powerful than him, along with being a higher being. For it to even have a chance of affecting me he would need to use an absurd amount of cursed energy that he doesn't have, and he can't use his ability to give himself enough cursed energy as he doesn't have the cursed energy to do even that. But still it has the potential to reach that level. There are seriously some broken-ass techniques in this world. Odin, are you able to analyze that ability enough so that when I return to the cardinal world, you can make a skill with it if I want? Answer, Odin has already done so, however it took some time due to the distance between the master and the body double Odin is piloting. The innate technique comedian has similarities with the unique skill, chef. Odin should theoretically be able to use the data from chef and comedian to form a new skill for the master if you wish. Huh, that's right, those two abilities do share some similarities, though chef seems more specialized, but comedian has a wider range of effects. Those two abilities would mesh well together. I was holding off on adding chef to my arsenal due to it not meshing well with my skill set, but then now I can't help but wonder what sort of broken combination would form from chef and comedian combining. Still, it's best I wait until Odin finds a way to evolve it into an ultimate skill. A unique skill isn't going to be much help at this point. Still, I'm excited. Hey, great work Odin, I'm glad I let you go out with a body double. Man, who knew that I would actually get stronger from visiting this world? I guess that shows that no world should be underestimated. Don't interfere with the fight unless either Yuta or Takaba is going to die. Once the fight is over, heal anyone who has grave injuries and then disperse the body double. Affirmative. It would be a shame if Takaba dies. I might not want him in the cardinal world as I'm a paranoid bastard, but he has an interesting ability. He must have one hell of a personality to have an innate technique like that. I'd also like to see how strong the so-called second coming of Satoru Gojo, Yuta, really is. I lower my thought acceleration as I focus on what Satoru is saying. Hey, yeah, we have a plan to deal with Kenjaku. I grin as I say, it wouldn't happen to have anything to do with dear Yuta now, would it? Satoru's eyes widened in surprise, so you were even able to figure that out. I roll my eyes, it wasn't hard to figure out, he's the only one who isn't present, and I can sense that comedian guy fighting Kenjaku in his own way with Yuta waiting for an opportunity. I see, so your senses expand that far, huh? Something like that. Now what's up with those barriers all throughout Japan? Kenjaku created a game of sorts, he calls it the culling game. Those barriers are part of Kenjaku's plan to merge Tenjin with the humans of Japan. There are 10 colonies that are separated by barriers that serve as the battleground for the ritual to merge humanity with Tenjin. Kenjaku is basically forcing all the sorcerers inside the barriers to fight each other. The cursed energy that is emitted from each fight is what is used to power the ritual. The colonies are all connected to each other. The line where these colonies connect to each other form an even larger barrier that Kenjaku erected. The more cursed energy that is harvested, the larger the barrier will get until all of Japan is covered by the barrier, at which point Kenjaku will start the merger. I see, so it's basically an elaborate plot to use the cursed energy of the players and the barriers for a ritual that prepares the humans of Japan for the merger. Hey, that's one way to say it. Kenjaku really thought everything out, huh? Ha. If he didn't, we wouldn't be having so much trouble. Does the game end if Kenjaku is killed? Nope. That's the big problem. Even if he dies, the game will continue on. Maybe as a final fuck you if we successfully deal with him. Wouldn't all the barriers Tenjin is helping maintain also disappear? Yup. That's something to figure out after this entire mess though. Well, If you want, I should be able to easily destroy all the barriers, though it'll come at a cost. Satoru raised his brow. Oh? What sort of cost? Nothing too extravagant. I'd like a place to stay, big enough to host 3 people. I also want a few favors that I can call in, and some money. Money makes the world spin after all. I do need money in order to buy the things I want. It probably isn't the best idea to use the Dwargon gold coins I have in my stomach. And learning a few of the barrier techniques won't hurt, they seem quite interesting. I can already think of quite a few uses for a curtain. They are likely to accept any demand I make, seeing how desperate they are. They have no real way to destroy the barrier slowly surrounding Japan as far as I know after all. Ha. That's easy. Hell, I could pay for all that from the Gojo clan funds. Great. I can't wait to play some Smash, it's been so long. You like Smash, Felix-sama? Hey, I used to be quite the expert at it, Yuji. Really? Amazing. Maybe we can play it later, we can have some others join us later as well. Yuji saluted as he said, yes. We continued to chat until I felt Raiden heading back over here. It seems the food is on its way, get ready to be amazed, my Raiden is the best cook I know. I have high expectations then. Satoru seems excited to try food from another world. The scary lady is a real maiden, huh? Yuji is really into this. Salmon. And there she is. Right as I finished speaking, the door to the room opened, and in came Raiden, who had a few dishes in her hands. Whoa. It smells so good. Said Yuji. She came to me first and set down a few plates in front of me, enough for 3 people, as Kurumi and Raiden will be eating with me. Here you go, Felix-sama. I decided to make roast earthen's leaf dragon steak, white tiger stew, and some grilled salmon. Ah, that sounds delicious. I can eat this all on my own too. I see, thank you, Raiden. She then turned towards everyone else who was eagerly waiting. I made the same for you all. I asked someone to help bring the food, but it seems they fell behind. Eh? From what I sense, she basically came here at top speed. I think she just wanted to beat everyone else and show me the food first. It's cute how she can be so childish still. It didn't take long for a bunch of men in suits to come and serve everyone else their food. And soon the feast began. Chapter 58, Details and Plans. Once all the food was served, Raiden took the seat to my left, while Kurumi jumped out of my lap and transformed back into her humanoid form and took the seat on my right. It didn't take long for everyone to dig in, even that old principal seemed curious. Whoa. So good. I'm sure Raiden will be happy at your praise, Yuji-kun. Salmon. Whoa. This is good. It's weird seeing a panda so expressive. I send Yuji a grin. Of course it is. My Raiden made it after all. It's a shame Fushiguro won't get to try this. Your maid said this was dragon meat? Asked Satoru. Yup, the steak is made from dragon meat, specifically the meat of a medium dragon. Medium dragon? Dragons have ranks, from lesser, to medium, and then to arch, and in the arch rank there are 2 more ranks. I see. Just how strong are these dragons? I see, he is probably trying to figure out the general strength level of the cardinal world, or I'm just overthinking and he's just curious. Doesn't really matter either way. Well, lesser dragons are capable of wiping out multiple villages, medium dragons can threaten an entire town, and arch dragons' strength varies quite a bit. They scale from anywhere between threatening a small nation, to being able to destroy an entire continent. Divine dragons are likely much stronger than even that, and I believe that Raiden has the potential to reach that level. An entire continent? Those medium dragons sound like a threat, let alone those arch dragons. Satoru was rightfully surprised. No one in this world can stand up to the raw power an archdragon can bring to bear, though they might be able to come up with ways to defeat them depending on what skills the dragon has. Hey, yeah, there are quite a lot of beings that can terrify the common people in that world. MMPH. Your world sounds really scary, Felix-sama. You have no idea, Yuji. Maki smacked Yuji in the back of the head. Stop talking with your mouth full. Yes, Maki-senpai. These other dishes are quite delicious as well. I envy you for being able to have these made on demand. I shrugged my shoulders. Skill issue. Huh? Nothing. It would be pretty interesting if I spread demon summoning magic throughout a bunch of worlds. I can already imagine the sort of chaos that could cause if people figure out how to summon demons. In a world like DxD that could be fun. I can imagine the old Satan faction getting their hands on it and summoning some sort of demon. Would probably even motivate Rise Evan with all his insanity. I don't know all that much about him, as all my knowledge on him comes from fan fiction and wiki diving, but he seems like the type. So many worlds that should theoretically be capable of sustaining demons. DxD, Fairy Tail, Black Clover, The Witcher would be a good one. Ciri has abilities similar to Planeswalker as well. Ah, those are bad thoughts, stupid intrusive thoughts. I saw Raiden was satisfied with her dishes as well. She can be quite hard on herself when she cooks for me. Kurumi also seems to be enjoying the food. All of a sudden I felt some of my strength return to me. It looks like Odin dispelled the body double. Notice, the individual known as Yuta has successfully killed the individual known as Kenjaku. So Yuta was the one to deal the finishing blow then, huh? Any injuries? Odin healed Takaba while Yuta was distracted with attacking Kenjaku. I see, good work Odin. Make sure to deal with his body, make sure he is dead. Yuta has already fully killed him, his soul has passed on. Good work. Odin isn't able to consume his soul like a demon unfortunately. But it's no biggie, as long as Kenjaku is dead. Now that Kenjaku is dead I can feel all the barriers Tenjin is helping to maintain vanish. The barriers around the school are gone, the barrier that focuses all the cursed energy from around the world into Japan is gone. That's definitely going to pose an issue for everyone, huh? Maybe I can offer to replace those barriers in return for being someone equivalent to Tenjin. It shouldn't be too hard to create barriers similar to Tenjin's barriers with Odin. Being able to command all the Jujutsu sorcerers could be useful, and if not useful then it would be at the very least fun. I'll basically be able to have access to all of this world's resources as well. I won't even have to do any work, I can do something similar to what the church does, I can create a bunch of crystals to give them enough power for a few decades, and then they can maintain the barrier. I would basically have complete control over the barrier giving me even more power over Jujutsu society. My evil plan is already setting itself up. Mahahaha. Notice, if the master plans to go through with the plan, then it is suggested that the master hides the crystals at the edge of the world so that when the master leaves, the crystals are not disturbed. The edge of the world? Using Planeswalker, the master, or Odin can place the crystals halfway inside this dimension, and halfway outside of it, making it so only other world travelers would be capable of reaching it. I can do that? If I can, then that sounds perfect. By the way, it seems that Kenjaku has been dealt with, and by extension Tenjin as well. All the barriers that he was maintaining have been dispelled, it's only a matter of time before the rest of the world finds out about Jujutsu society. What really? Yuta was able to do it? Maki seems relieved. As expected of Yuta-senpai. Yuji is being Yuji. Salmon. Does this guy say anything else? Whoa, good job Yuta. I tuned out the rest of the choir as I focused on what Satoru was about to say. Haha, well that boat has already sailed. I put up a barrier to keep our conversation private, I don't want that old principal to do anything bothersome after all. Don't tell me. Yup. Kenjaku told multiple governments around the world about cursed energy, they've got it stuck in their heads that it's the key to unlimited energy or something. Ugh, that sounds like a pain to deal with. Haha, yeah I don't look forward to it, being one of Jujutsu society's only deterrents can be a pain sometimes. I bet, good luck with that. I've already agreed to help you by destroying the Culling Games barriers, but I'm also willing to replace Tenjin's barriers after coming to an agreement with the higher-ups of Jujutsu society. I do wonder why the Culling Games barriers haven't been dispelled without Kenjaku to maintain them, maybe he is having someone else maintain them. Or he has it connected to another power source, who knows? Higher-ups? So it seems you don't know everything then, huh? Is there something I'm missing? Hey, those guys have already been dealt with, Kenjaku killed most of them, and then they were finished off by someone else a little later on. What? Well that changes things quite a bit. I wonder how they were finished off, Satoru didn't kill them even though he has had plenty of chances, I wonder what changed? I see, that's interesting, do they have any replacements yet? Haha, not yet, we haven't had much time to reorganize everything with all that's been happening. And I doubt any have attempted to fill the power vacuum, after all no one wanted to be an enemy of Kenjaku. That's fair, what's keeping all of Jujutsu society from falling into even more chaos then? Hey, I might not be the strongest anymore, but almost everyone doesn't want me to show up on their lawn and get rid of them. I see, so it wasn't the higher-ups holding everything together but you? Basically. About your deal, I would be willing to agree with it depending on your conditions. Hey, alright give me a minute to think. This was a spontaneous decision wasn't it? Yup. My idea sounded fun so I wanted to see how it would go. Well, I can't blame you, a lot of my decisions are similar. Now what do I want in return for my help? Maybe I can ask for the Tenjin treatment? Basically I can give orders to any Jujutsu sorcerer, have all my wants fulfilled, I'll basically become someone similar what Veldora is for Tempest, as in I am their protector of sorts, though I won't actually protect them, I'll just set up a barrier and watch how everything develops. There isn't all that much that this world can offer me other than allowing me to freely utilize their sorcerers, though I don't see myself doing even that. Maybe only if I hear about someone with an interesting innate technique. And if this world doesn't want my help then no biggie, They can figure out how to keep the world from going to shit on their own. I don't have many attachments here after all. I wasn't close to the matron who took care of me, I wasn't close to the other kids either. I don't care too much about gaining control over Jujutsu Society, it's more like a side quest to my vacation, something fun to do. I guess I really am a demon lord, huh? What with me thinking about taking over a secret society that basically rules all of Japan for fun? Am I letting the power get to my head? Nah. I'm just having fun messing around. I've still held to my core principles. I just do what I want to do now without considering what others think. I guess I could be considered a tyrant. But I have enough trust in myself, and in Odin that she won't let me stray from my core ideals. That was something I believed from the bottom of my heart. In that moment, I swear I felt Odin smile happily for a moment. Now that I have figured out what I want, it's time to see what Sator thinks. There are a few things I want, but if you want me to summarize it, I want the Tenjin treatment, I want the power to be able to order around all Jujutsu sorcerers, and I want anything I ask for when I ask for it. After all, I'm doing you guys a pretty big favor. Sator looked confused. That's it? Well, I guess there isn't all that much that we can offer you, but I expected more. Now it was my turn to be confused. Did you think that once word spread that you are the one maintaining all the barriers that help secure Jujutsu Society you wouldn't be revered? Ah, that's true, I guess that's what I get for trying to half-ass this. Oh well, I don't care all that much. At that point anything you want, someone will get for you, whether that is to get your favor or something else. But yes, I'll agree to those conditions. Feel free to add what you want to it later if you come up with some more things. It's no big deal. The only thing that this world can offer me at this point is interesting innate techniques. Well, in that case, I have a few people in mind. Oh? It must be quite the interesting innate technique if someone like Satoru says so. He is basically invincible in this world after all. There are few that are capable of harming him, and even less that are capable of killing him. I'll need some time to prepare everything though. It's fine, I wasn't expecting something like that to be immediate. Satoru nodded. Well, I probably could do it quickly, but I'd rather take time and make sure I do everything perfectly. I might have Odin customize the barrier to create even more interesting situations as well. Once our conversation finished, I dispelled the barrier, keeping our conversation private. It didn't take us long to finish eating, and seeing as everyone enjoyed the food, Raiden was happy. Kurumi turned back into her fox form and took her place on my shoulder as well. Satoru and I separated ourselves from the group in order to talk in private, though Raiden tagged along with Kurumi still on my shoulder. I looked at Satoru. If you want, I can destroy the barrier now. I'm sure you all have things that you need to do. I don't doubt that Satoru will hold his end of the bargain, even if some others don't agree. He's an honorable guy like that. Hey, honorable guy, the honored one. That would be great. I'll call someone and get them to get you somewhere nice to stay in the meantime. Alright, thanks. Did you need anything from any of us to destroy the barrier? Nah, with a barrier this weak it should be no trouble. Weak? Huh, so that's what that feels like. We aren't even able to scratch that barrier and you're calling it weak. We just have different standards when it comes to strength. Huh, obviously. Alright, I'll be back. Immediately after I said that, Kurumi hops off my shoulder, and I start to fly up into the sky. Now how should I do this? I want to get rid of all the barriers at once so I don't have to do this over and over again. I can easily erase the barrier with Ouroboros, but I should consider all the options I have available as well. I can consume the barrier with Beelzebub, hell I can use magic to destroy it as well, so many options. I don't need to worry about collateral damage seeing as Odin can assist me in perfectly controlling any magic I decide to use. I bet I could probably use an anti-magic area if I make it large enough to fit all of Japan in it. I wonder what would happen if I did that. Would all cursed spirits just die, and Jujutsu sorcerers become incapable of performing sorcery? Still, I think using Ouroboros is the best option. It might not be super flashy, but it will definitely be the most efficient. Spatial manipulation for the win. Once I'm at a sufficient height, I sense all the barriers surrounding the 10 colonies. There are Jujutsu sorcerers all around the outside of the barrier, probably waiting for an opportunity. I can also feel that the barriers around the Jujutsu schools, and the one focusing all the cursed energy from around the world and Japan are gone. R.I.P. Tenjin, you will not be missed by me. Now that I know precisely where the barriers are, I snap my fingers, and poof, they're gone. Well, that was easy. As I am descending down, I decide to make an announcement declaring that the barriers are gone. No reason to keep it hidden since the regular humans already know about Jujutsu Society. I gotta introduce myself to the normies in style after all. I broadcast my voice throughout Japan with magic. Hello everyone. This is your resident demon lord from another world, Felix White. I am making an announcement in order to inform everyone that the barriers surrounding the 10 colonies have been dispelled. You are no longer trapped and forced to compete in this game. Now have fun. I may or may not have caused much more chaos in the long term, but oh well, not my problem. Have fun, unknown Jujutsu sorcerers. Once I get back to the ground, I met with a grinning Satoru, with Raiden, and Kurumi, who are also waiting for me. Kurumi immediately hops back onto my shoulder and licks my cheek, while Raiden approaches me. Excellent work, master. Hey, it was light work, Raiden, you should know that. Indeed, my master is the greatest, but I still wish to congratulate you, such is a maid's duty. I see, well thank you, Raiden. It seems that everyone else from this world cleared out except for Satoru, and his assistant manager, Ecchi, who is waiting outside. They probably left to take care of the mess I caused, along with making sure that no one goes on a killing spree for whatever reason. All it took was a snap of your fingers, huh? Ah, he was probably able to see me with the 6 eyes. Like I said earlier, it wasn't going to be much effort. Huh, yeah. I just wanted to see it with my own eyes. To think there would be someone more broken than me around. Huh. Get used to it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's quite refreshing actually, to no longer be the strongest. There are a lot of people throughout the multiverse that consider themselves the strongest, you know. Just because you're aware you're not the strongest doesn't make you useless. Ah, look at you trying to comfort me. There's no need, if anything I'm excited. There is a new peak to work towards. Haha, good luck ever approaching my level. I've had a lot of luck and help to get to the point I'm at. And there are still people that are capable of matching, and even surpassing my power. I haven't met anyone stronger than I am in pure power. Well, there was Guy, but I caught up with him. Still, I would be foolish to dismiss the fact that there could be beings out there more powerful than I am. The multiverse is vast after all. That other world of yours is one filled with monsters, huh? Ugh, tell me about it. I'm always trying to get stronger in case I come across someone more powerful than me. In that world the impossible is possible. I notice Satoru looking up with a smile. That sounds like a good world. Indeed, it has its own murky waters, but I do find myself calling that world home. Hey, isn't that all that matters? Indeed. Your message is bound to cause a lot of chaos, you know? Ha. It won't be my problem. I don't believe that a bunch of weaklings will be able to inconvenience me. We really are related. Right? See, he gets it. He might be far weaker than me, but to the people of this world, we are both unbeatable, bar a few in Satoru's case. Why care what a bunch of random people think? You might as well prioritize your own joy and fun over them. A truly selfish mindset, but what are people if not selfish? Life's no fun if it's only lived for the sake of others. Oh, I forgot to ask earlier since I got distracted, but what's with all these possessed sorcerers popping up? Ah, I forgot to explain that. Most of those guys are pretty weak, so it slipped my mind completely. That's as good a reason as any. Well, I guess I'll start with the incarnated sorcerers. As you heard from Hajime-san, there are a bunch of sorcerers that Kenjaku made pacts with in the past. All of them have been incarnated in the present age for various reasons. With Hajime-san, he just wanted a good fight. With the angel, she just wanted to kill Sukuna. Each of them have their own reasons for wanting to be brought back in this era. Then there are the sorcerers that Kenjaku basically created, like Hirumi-san, and Takeoba-san, though I haven't introduced you to the latter yet. The comedian, right? I'm not even going to question how you know who he is, but that's right. Kenjaku created both of them. One group gained strength as vessels of the past era, the other group gained strength as sorcerers from the present era. He did all of that to create more fighting and discontent in the barrier, furthering his goal. I see, thanks for the explanation. No problem, just fulfilling my end of the bargain. Anyways, I've gotta go help everyone with the cleanup. There are cursed spirits rampaging around Japan and they need all the help they can get dealing with them all. I've already gotten you a place to stay. I'll have Ecchi-san show you where it is whenever you're ready. He's waiting for you just outside if you want to go now, or you can call him later. You can call him if you need anything else as well. I'll give you a phone with both his and my number as well, along with a credit card. He took something out of his pocket. Here's the phone and credit card. There isn't a limit on the card, but don't go crazy please, that's out of my own pocket, you know. And then I also got phones for your 2 subordinates in case they want to learn more about the modern world. That's a good idea. I didn't think of getting Raiden and Kurumi phones. Haha, don't worry, I won't, thanks though. I accepted phones and the credit card from him. I quickly go through the contact list on my new phone. I have the numbers of Satoru, Ecchi, Yuji, and he also added in the numbers of the 2 phones he got for Raiden and Kurumi. He probably gave me Yuji's number since he saw us get along. Once I do that, I tuck the phones and credit card into my pocket. I'll give Raiden and Kurumi their phones later. Alright, I'll see you around. I won't say stay out of trouble seeing as we are pretty similar on that front. Trouble will most likely end up finding you. Haha, maybe. See ya. I feel as Satoru compressed the space between where we are and his location, and with that Satoru teleports away. Now what to do? Are you guys fine with heading to the place Satoru prepared for us? Raiden replies first, yes master, I would like to inspect the kitchen, and take a look at our temporary residence in more detail. Kurumi, who is still on my shoulder in her fox form, just licks my cheek in response. I'll take that as a yes Kurumi. I can still sense Ecchi outside. Ecchi-san, we are ready to look at the place Satoru prepared for us. He quickly comes into the room. Yes Felix-sama, right this way. Gojo Satoru. As Satoru was running through Tokyo, exorcising cursed spirits left and right, his thoughts wandered back to his new apparent cousin. It wasn't all that surprising that there were people out there who were not affiliated with his clan but had the blood of the Gojo clan. After all, Yuta is in a similar situation, what with their shared ancestor. From what he learned from Felix, his father was most likely a member of the Gojo clan, a pump and dump situation as Felix called it. Satoru believed it. Felix looked remarkably similar to him. In fact, he wouldn't be surprised if Felix was one of his father's bastards. When Satoru brought up DNA testing, Felix denied him, saying he didn't really care for who his birth father was. Along with that, he said it would be impossible to get his DNA, for he did not have any. Felix said that if he wanted to he could test the DNA of his birth body, as that should still be in this world, though he claimed he did not know what happened to it. But if Felix didn't care, then Satoru wouldn't bother. When he asked why Felix looked so much like a Gojo clan member, despite not having the genes of the Gojo clan anymore, Felix had said that his current appearance was entirely based on his own self-image. Felix claimed to be a spiritual being of some sort, someone who had surpassed the limitations of the flesh, someone capable of thinking with his soul, as he said it. Satoru thought he was just being shunny, but it turned out to be true. The world he came from sounds quite interesting. A world of evolution. Demon lords, heroes, adventurers, nobles, kingdoms, empires, all sorts of fantasy creatures like elves, demons, angels, dragons, all of it sounded fascinating to him. While they were eating, Felix explained some of the details about the world he came from, or as he called it, the cardinal world. A world where humans waged war against monsters, though not directly. In that world, humans were generally far weaker than monsters, though there were some who were capable of matching them. The human nations had banded together in order to face the threat of monsters, and not just monsters, but the threat of demon lords as well. Felix had said there was a council of demon lords. Each demon lord, except a few, had their own territory they ruled over, and each demon lord was capable of at least wiping a country off the map, except for an exception that Felix wouldn't go into detail about. Satoru thought it was a world of monsters, but it sounded like a fun world. However, Satoru didn't even ask if he could hitch a ride with Felix to that world. For one, he didn't think Felix would agree. He and Felix were similar in some aspects, but different in others. From what he was able to learn in a short period of time, from all of his stories, he was able to learn that Felix was the cautious sort. He isn't one to do something unless he is completely sure about it. The two of them might get along, but they didn't know each other nearly well enough for Felix to do him a favor like that. Though in time maybe. The second reason is due to him having some unfinished business in this world. He isn't one to abandon the dream he set out for. He would reset all of Jujutsu society if it's the last thing he does. Now is the perfect opportunity for such a thing. The entire world is in disarray, and the higher-ups are dead. Then there were all the funerals. He didn't have time to give his proper farewells due to everything that had been happening, but it was long overdue. Yaga-sensei, Nanami, maybe Nobara if they don't manage to find a way to heal her soul. Arata was thankfully able to prevent her wounds from fully taking her, but she was basically in a state between life and death right now. They would need a miracle to heal her at this point. The only method he could think of was those potions Felix talked about. Satoru planned to directly ask Felix to help heal Nobara once he helped take care of all the issues going on. Felix was similar to him in that respect. He preferred people being direct rather than trying to scheme their way to a specific result. It didn't take him long to clear out all the cursed spirits in Tokyo. He might not be the strongest anymore, but he was still strong. Even most special grades didn't stand a chance against him. Still, even for all his power, there wasn't much he could do about the chaos going on everywhere. Tenjin is dead, meaning that the barrier focusing and harnessing all the cursed energy from around the world into Japan has vanished. Cursed spirits will be popping up more all around the world, without many Jujutsu sorcerers to help kill them. Hell, without Tenjin's barriers, less and less Jujutsu sorcerers will be born. It's thanks to Tenjin's barrier that the conditions were optimal enough for Jujutsu sorcerers to be born regularly in Japan. There was a reason it was incredibly rare for jujutsu sorcerers to be born outside of Japan after all. If he were to try and explain it, he would say that the reason the barrier Tenjin placed worked as it did was due to it being capable of sucking in cursed energy at a global level. Imagine cursed energy is water and spread over the world it is 3 inches deep. To create jujutsu sorcerers at minimum it needs to be 1 inch deep, which creates them at a very minor, practically useless speed. To make them at an optimal speed it needs to be at least 10 inches deep. Though cursed spirits had a far easier time being born, needing only 5 inches for optimal spawn speed, far outdoing sorcerers. Another reason why it's best to focus all the cursed energy into one area. If the cursed energy is more spread out, the sorcerers will eventually find themselves overwhelmed by the amount of curses being born. Tenjin's barrier is what is sucking in most of the cursed energy from all over the world, creating the optimal conditions for the birth of jujutsu sorcerers and cursed spirits in Japan by raising the water to above 10 inches in Japan, while lowering it to 1 inch everywhere else. The reason the barrier is focused on Japan is due to it being impossible for the jujutsu sorcerers in Japan to respond to global threats in a smooth and quick fashion. It was better for most cursed spirits to be focused in one area, so that jujutsu sorcerers didn't have a tough time tracking them all down. Felix had said that he could replace the barrier, but he did not say to what extent. If he could potentially modify the barrier, he wondered if it is possible for him to make it possible for jujutsu sorcerers to be born at an optimal speed all over the world. He does have a bunch of mysterious abilities after all. The entire world will soon know about cursed energy. If Japan kept the monopoly on it, there would definitely be some issues. Making it so curses and jujutsu sorcerers can be born worldwide is a decent solution to that problem. The coming of a new age, an age where the entire world is involved in jujutsu society. He couldn't imagine how the world would change from something like that. Hey, maybe it would be something like some of those fantasy novels, with guilds, organizations, each competing against each other while also getting rid of cursed spirits. It would be a long-term solution either way. It will take some time for jujutsu sorcerers to be born around the world and grow up. But there are also potential issues with such a plan. After all, some might get it in their head that now that they have power, they can do whatever they want. He could see some people trying to conquer nations if they get it into their heads that they are capable of such a thing. If the entire world gained access to cursed energy, he could see the world return to a state similar to the Hun period. Kenjaku's plan might just come true after all. Still, an era of change sounded incredibly exciting to Satoru. He can deal with all the sorcerers who get too large of an ego. Then there were the effects that Felix has had on the world. Mai's broadcast was only meant to be viewed by other jujutsu sorcerers, but unfortunately now that the wider world knows about sorcerers, they were able to gain access to the broadcast and watch his fight with Sukuna. They were able to learn about Felix through the broadcast, and since his abilities weren't jujutsu, everyone was able to see what he was doing, from that explosion spell, to his other abilities. The entire world wants to know more about everything. There have been fan clubs, but they are more like cults in his opinion that have popped up. Some worship Felix, others worship him, and some even worship Sukuna. The world is messed up. But still most governments are incredibly wary of Felix, and even him. Some nations want them out of the picture, while others want Felix to join their nations as a sort of protector. Some nations are even willing to serve him as long as they are guaranteed to survive this coming age. Felix is acting as a natural deterrent similar to Satoru himself. And those subordinates or whatever they are of his are quite strong as well. That Raiden was able to immobilize a room full of experienced jujutsu sorcerers, not to mention she even immobilized Yuta, someone with the potential to match him. And he doubted that the fox, Kurami, was weak either. At least the higher-ups are out of the picture now. They were always a pain in the ass to deal with. Serves them right for listening to Kenjaku's honeyed words. He truly didn't think they could be even more idiotic than they were, but he was proven wrong. The only one stopping him from killing them earlier was Yaga-sensei, but they got rid of him. But there are also slight downsides to the higher-ups dying. For one, he has a lot more work to do. After all, he is the only one preventing everything from turning from just chaos into complete anarchy. After all, a lot has happened. Kenjaku released a bunch of cursed spirits, Maki massacring the Xenian, the Kamo clan being under Kenjaku's command. At least there was one plus side. People are still afraid of his power. There's a reason that no other foreign countries have attempted anything major since he was unsealed. He is also the one keeping all the jujutsu sorcerers in check. He imagines that if he wasn't around to keep them under control, then there would be far more curse users, and a lot more slacking off from the jujutsu sorcerers. He already had a good idea of what he planned to do with the power vacuum. He would put people who shared a similar mindset to him in power. The old man Yoshinobu was a good choice. He wouldn't have even considered him if he hadn't changed, but ever since he decided to keep the secrets about his sensei's technique, his views on him shifted. Even Yoshinobu was able to recognize that everything had gone to shit, and that things needed to change if a semblance of peace was to return. Plus Yuta managed to kill Kenjaku with that comedian, Takeaba's help. Sigh, he had his work cut out for him. As Ecchi was showing us around, I was considering how to go about recreating the barrier that Tenjin had over Japan, and if I should change it at all. I should be able to customize the barrier however I want with Odin's help. She has access to numerous skills that can be incorporated into the barrier. Tenjin's barrier at its core basically focuses all the world's cursed energy into Japan, which is what allows for so many Jujutsu sorcerers and cursed spirits to be born in Japan. It has some other effects, as well, but it shouldn't be a problem as I am capable of replicating the barrier as it is. But what I want to do is change the barrier a bit. If Japan kept the monopoly on cursed energy, even I can tell there would be some issues. So my solution is to find a way to replicate what Tenjin's barrier did, but all over the world. Normally I wouldn't consider such a thing due to all the chaos and death that would cause. These other nations have some sorcerers, but not nearly enough to be able to handle the amount that Japan does. But in this case the ends justify the means. After all, now that all the world's governments know about cursed energy, there is going to be war, one way or another. Whether it is due to nations that want to use cursed energy as a weapon, or for unlimited energy, there are numerous reasons I can see a war being started for. No nation is going to like that Japan was monopolizing such a thing, and while Satoru is capable of preventing anything too bad from happening, what about when he is gone? He isn't immortal after all, he is going to die eventually. And there is a chance that a full-on war may start once he is gone. World War III if you will. While normal humans can't see Jujutsu, that doesn't mean they aren't capable of harming sorcerers. They don't have the issue that they would have with cursed spirits. After all, they can see sorcerers, they can monitor sorcerers. Technology advances incredibly quickly. Jujutsu sorcerers aren't bulletproof after all. Hell, a well-placed grenade might kill an experienced sorcerer if they are caught unprepared. It might be best if the entire world was able to access cursed energy at the same level as that of Japan. Sure, this will cause more Jujutsu sorcerers and cursed spirits to pop up all over the world, but it might be better in the long run. Plus that also benefits me, as I will get to learn about even more interesting innate techniques, and I'm also curious about how the world would react to such a thing. Would something similar to what happened in solo leveling happen? Would associations that manage the sorcerers of each country form? It all sounds super fun. I can be honest with myself, I'm simply trying to justify what I am planning to do to myself. After all, I know this can potentially cause a lot of bloodshed. Now that I have justified myself, it's time to get to work. And this is the living room. Feel free to choose whichever rooms you wish to stay in. Everything has already been prepared for you. The rooms all have beds, a bathroom, a bath, and a few other items. There is food in the fridge, and if that is not enough, I can also have someone pick up whatever you need. Man, Satoru is really spoiling us. Raiden was inspecting the ingredients that were in the kitchen. She really takes her maid duties way too seriously. Still, she might not know what a lot of the ingredients are. I might as well send her a bunch of information on the food of this world. Hey Raiden, do you want me to transfer a bunch of information on the food of this world to you? It's only polite to ask. Yes, master, that would be appreciated. Alright, here you go. It doesn't take her long to process all the information, seeing as she has thought acceleration. Ecchi-san, may I give you a list of the ingredients I would like? Certainly. This guy is really helpful, and I can tell he is incredibly loyal to Satoru. I wonder what Satoru did to make him so loyal to him. Kurumi hopped off my shoulder and transformed into her human form while Ecchi looked on in awe. I guess seeing something like that isn't something that you can get used to very quickly. Master, may I sleep in the same room as you? I will stay in my fox form so I do not discomfort you. Before I could respond, Raiden looked towards Kurumi with narrowed eyes. That would be improper, Kurumi. Besides, we have an agreement, do we not? An agreement? Fine, you win, Raiden. Now I'm confused. Here is the list, Ecchi-san. I see, I will have someone bring you everything you have asked for as soon as possible. I wonder what Raiden will be able to make with modern ingredients. I'll definitely make sure to store a bunch of ingredients in my stomach. Money isn't something I have to worry about after all. I added all the things to make soy sauce to the list because Rimuru couldn't seem to get his own version working as well as the original. Now that we are all set up, I can have some time to create this new and improved barrier of mine. Raiden, Kurumi, I'll be in my room working on something. Raiden bowed as she said, I see, enjoy yourself, master. Kurumi said, Oh, can I go look around, master? I'm curious about this new world. What's the harm in that? Yeah, sure, don't do anything too crazy though, and take these as well. I toss her the credit card and phone Satoru gave me. I won't, master. She looked at the two items curiously. She'll be able to figure it out. The phone doesn't have a password either. I think she'll be fine. Probably. Once I was in the room I decided to claim. I took a look around. There was a nice king-sized bed, a bathroom with a bath, a desk with a chair, and a dresser with a mirror on it. Oh shit, there are even some clothes in here for me. Satoru really took this seriously. Dang, these are some nice suits. I'm definitely taking these with me. I can make something similar with material creation, but handmade suits are something else. Maybe I can have Shuna take a look at them? It might give her some more ideas. Now that I'm here, time for the barrier. Now how should I do this? Oh, I know. My trusty pal Odin will figure it out. She has a bunch of data after all. Hell, Shuna had a skill that straight up allows her to create new magic. Then there is the data she got from Uriel, a skill made up of all of Rimaru's subordinates' skills. And that guy has a bunch of subordinates. Apostrophe. Pretty please? Odin can do what the master wishes, using the data Odin has gathered on numerous skills, other abilities, and the data Odin has on the intrinsic skill, Small World. It is possible to place a barrier around the entire world that amplifies the cursed energy, replicating the conditions Japan was previously in, all over the world. Placing a barrier over an entire world is practically impossible for most to do, but I am broken, please don't nerf. It's also good that the data that was gathered on Small World was put to use. Nice, thanks Odin. You're the best. Hehe, I don't have to do any work if Odin is here. Apostrophe. And since I don't want to have to maintain the barrier, I can easily make a bunch of crystals to power and maintain the barrier. I don't even need to use Magisteel for it, normal Magicore should do fine. Since I'm already going this far, I might as well have more fun, right? Odin, can you integrate a way for the barrier to analyze every sorcerer's capabilities and display a leaderboard of sorts? If Odin can pull this off, that'll be amazing. After all, nothing motivates people more than being able to see their strength rankings go up on a global leaderboard. Though this also might promote more competition between sorcerers, but that might not be a bad thing. Odin is capable of integrating a way of measuring the cursed energy capacity of everyone in the world, along with the combat capabilities of all sorcerers due to the data from Small World. Maybe don't display the cursed energy capacity of those under 18. I can see a bunch of people killing a newborn baby because they were born with a bunch of cursed energy. Acknowledged. Mahahaha. I shall turn this world into solo leveling. Now where should I place the leaderboard? I want it somewhere visible all over the world for one. Hey Odin, is it possible to make it so anyone anywhere could view the leaderboard simply by thinking of doing so? Answer. It is not possible to do so with the current data Odin possesses. It may be possible if Small World is fully analyzed. I see, though that's understandable. To do something like that I would basically need to have a backdoor into everyone's mind. I can probably manage by putting a leaderboard in every city or something. I should be able to do that with material creation. The only issue with my plan is that it will take decades for my idea to become a reality. As the world is now, there are mostly only sorcerers in Japan, and a few scattered across the world. It will take decades for Jujutsu sorcerers to pop up in other countries and grow into adults, so this is more of a long-term project. Satoru should be able to make sure that the boat isn't rocked too much before more sorcerers are born, so that's fine I guess. I'm going to be alive for a long time, so I need to get used to waiting decades for anything fun to happen. I'll just have to come visit this world again in a few decades. I wasn't planning to stick around here long anyway. Now my plan is starting to come together. Chapter 59, Exploration. Once she got her master's permission to explore, she quickly took to the streets, though some people were staring and pointing at her. Possibly due to the fact that she wasn't hiding her tails or ears. After all, why should she hide her glorious form? Whoa. Is that a nine-tailed fox? Is she cosplaying? People complimenting her appearance are indirectly praising her master. After all, when one compliments someone else's pet, they are basically complimenting the pet owner. Could she be one of those cursed spirits from Tokyo that people are talking about? Nah man, they were said to be evil. If she was one of them, wouldn't she be causing trouble? Plus, no cursed spirit can be beautiful, right? Not to mention that we aren't even in Tokyo. Hey, who knows if what the government is telling us is the truth? They might have lied to us when they said they are only in Tokyo. She could see how some would confuse her with those cursed spirits, as most don't have much knowledge on cursed spirits. One boy was whispering something to one of his friends. Most wouldn't be able to hear what he was saying, but she was not most. Whoa. She's hotter than all the porn actresses I've seen. Porn actress? What's that? She will have to look it up on that device her master gave her sometime. She saw her master using it to look up information, so she should be able to use it for her own research. Quite the ingenious idea these humans came up with. According to her master, you can use the phone to look into an almost unlimited amount of information. Such a thing is truly amazing, being able to access anything you want from the comfort of your own home. The internet, he called it. These humans may be weak, but they do have some interesting inventions. She looked around the street. It looked like one filled with higher-end stores. Many well-dressed men and women were going about their business, though she also spotted some younger humans, teenagers she learned they were called. One of those very teenagers had brought up that porn thing as well. It must be something special to have caught the attention of the younger generation. Along with that, she could tell there was an underlying current of panic and fear in everyone. They tried to hide it, but she could see through them. Most weren't sure what was going to happen with their lives. According to her master, these people had no idea about Jujutsu sorcerers before it was revealed, and are still recovering from everything that has happened. He expected things to spiral even more out of control once people had some more time to think. He said he was surprised that stores and restaurants were even open during this time. Apparently, according to her master's friend, the only reason this country's economy hasn't completely collapsed is due to the government forcefully keeping a lid on things. They are spreading information that everything will be fine in the hopes that it can calm people down. But her master said that such a tactic won't work for long. He expected Japan to struggle immensely in the coming weeks. Still, she wanted to take advantage of the time she had in order to explore. Now what should she do? She wanted to learn more about the culture of her master's old world. He always said that the food was delicious, so maybe she will try that first. She ignored the looks she was getting as she made her way to a cafe of sorts. On the way to a cafe she saw in the distance, she saw one of those cursed spirits on one of the human's shoulders. How odd. Should she deal with it? She knew most cursed spirits were inherently malicious, and she was feeling generous, so she used one of her tailed beast's abilities, gravity manipulation. Thanks to her perfect control, she was able to focus the ability solely on the cursed spirit, compressing it and instantly killing it without anyone noticing. She soon arrived at the cafe she was eyeing. She looked around and noticed that they had maids working here. It must be a nice establishment in that case. Once she walked in, she was greeted by one of the maids. She seemed slightly scared but built up the courage to approach her. "Hello ma'am, how may I help you today?" She looked at the maid in confusion. Why else would she be here if it wasn't to eat? "I would like to eat here." The maid seemed relieved. Maybe she also thought she was a cursed spirit. "I see. Will it be a table for one?" "Yes, it is just me." "I see, please follow me then." She was quickly guided to her seat and given a menu to look through. She didn't have much of an idea of what some of the items on the menu were, but thankfully they had images of each item on the menu. She ended up ordering a few things as she was curious about the taste of multiple items. She didn't have to worry about stomach space, seeing as she was capable of eating however much food she wanted. As she was waiting for the maid to bring her food, she thought of what else she could do today. Maybe she could go to one of the clothing stores her master had mentioned in the past. If he likes what she wears, maybe he will dote on her more. She also wanted to fight one of those so-called cursed spirits. Even though she knew that most were not capable of matching even a fraction of her strength, she was still curious about them. After all, that Sukuna was quite strong. She would have been able to beat him thanks to most of his abilities being ineffective against her, but he was still quite strong. Raw power-wise, he seemed to be on the level of one of the stronger greater demons her master recruited, but she wouldn't be surprised if he was capable of beating an archdemon in the right conditions. Satoru Gojo, or as this country likes to call him, Gojo Satoru, is quite strong as well. She isn't really sure why the people of this country introduced themselves by saying their last name first, but she just ignored it. Though he would likely have a much harder time as he is in her home world. Still, he wields an impressive amount of strength for this world. Compared to those other people, he might as well be unbeatable. "Here you go, miss. Here is one omelet, one curry rice, one parfait, and one coffee." The food did look quite appetizing. The omelet sounded very good. She tried rice in Tempest, and then she had it in Azeroth and she loved it. It's a shame the rest of the world doesn't have access to it. And rice wrapped in egg has to be good. She has had curry before, so that wasn't completely unfamiliar, and coffee was one of the luxurious items available back home, and seeing as she was the direct subordinate of a demon lord, she could easily gain access to all sorts of luxuries most couldn't even dream of. She truly is lucky that her master spared her when he decimated Clayman's army. As she was about to begin eating, she sensed someone approaching her position. It seemed to be a young boy. Miss, may I get a picture with you? I've never seen such realistic cosplay before." "Cosplay? What is this cosplay you speak of?" "Ah, you're really getting into the role of a mysterious kitsune, huh? Well, miss, cosplay is basically the practice of dressing up as someone from an anime, manga, movie, video game, or just fantasy creatures in general." How odd. But she wasn't one to judge another world's customs. She didn't see a reason to deny him, so she agreed. She stood next to the boy who took out what her master called a phone. "Thanks for the picture." She gave him a nod and went back to eating her food. The food was quite good, though not on the level of Raiden's cooking, but that was to be expected. The food Raiden made was made from the highest of quality ingredients. Once she was finished, the maid from earlier came up to her. "I hope everything was good, miss." Indeed, the food was adequate. Adequate was all she could give with her standards. She was far too used to the luxurious meals she would receive back in Azeroth. "I see. Was there anything you had an issue with?" "No, I am simply used to higher quality ingredients. You have done well with what you had to work with." "I see. I'm sure the chefs will be happy to hear that. Now here is your bill. Feel free to take as much time as you need." She gave the maid the card that her master gave to her before she left. Once everything was paid for, she left to continue on her adventure. She wanted to buy some new clothing to impress her master with. It didn't take her long to find a clothing store. She ended up asking someone for directions, so it didn't take very long. "Hello, miss. Did you need help with anything today?" She turned towards the voice. "Yes, I would like to purchase clothing that will impress my master and make him dote on me." "Your master?" "Yes, I am his pet. Is there a problem?" She heard the woman whisper. "It's one of those days, huh? Was today some sort of special day? As I'm working on my plan for this world, I consider if they have elemental alignments similar to how every living thing has an alignment in the cardinal world. That could make everything a bit more interesting, especially if someone has an affinity for space or time. Would only those with cursed energy have an alignment? Notice. All humans in this world, with a few exceptions like Maki Zenin and Toji Fushiguro, have cursed energy. Most are just born unable to use it." "Ah, that's right. I forgot about that, thanks Odin. Then maybe they don't even have any specific alignment, seeing as the elements aren't as big of a thing in this world. If they do have alignments, Satoru's would probably be space, or light. Sukina's would probably be fire, and maybe something else like wind or darkness. Kurumi's alignment is earth. Raiden's was wind originally but mutated into lightning. Siko's is a bit of an odd one. She has an alignment for death, a completely unheard of alignment, so obviously there are exceptions, but that might be due to her revival. Adelman has an alignment for light, which is ironic seeing as he is undead. Alignments can also change as you evolve. Then beyond a simple alignment, is an elemental soul. Elemental souls are a type of spiritual life form considered to be a superior version of normal elementals. I didn't know about such a thing at first. Ramarise talked about spirits and elementals when I first met her in her labyrinth, but she never talked about elemental souls. She just told me about the grades of elementals, and called it a day. Damn brat probably forgot. Apparently there is said to be only 8 types of elemental souls, each matching to one of the 8 elements. Though I know that to be false, seeing as there was also said to only be 8 types of possible elemental alignments, which is obviously false since death is not one of those 8. None of my subordinates possess an elemental soul, though I believe if they evolve they will acquire one. Beings with elemental souls possess the ability to rewrite the laws of the world, in a way similar to law manipulation, but the degree they are capable of manipulating the laws varies from person to person. According to Odin, it is theoretically possible for someone to be able to rewrite the laws of the world on a level similar to that of ultimate skill wielders. Even normal elementals are considered to be degraded elemental souls, though there are elementals that far outstrip elemental souls, like the elemental lords. There aren't many that have a true elemental soul. I personally think that divinity is a requirement for having an elemental soul, as I have not met any beings without divinity that possess an elemental soul, but I may be wrong and you just need to evolve further to unlock such a thing. Maybe human saints possess them. Veldora has an elemental soul with 3 alignments, space, water, and wind. Fucking true dragons. Well, my own elemental soul is one that is a bit out of the box. It's infinity. My affinity for space evolved over time into an affinity for space-time, which according to Odin, became an elemental soul of infinity after my harvest festival. It didn't grant me much seeing as I already have an ultimate skill based on it, but it was still something cool to discover. And similar to the rankings between elementals, an elemental soul can also be ranked: medium grade elemental souls, greater grade elemental souls, and supreme grade elemental souls. I possess a greater grade elemental soul, while Veldora has a supreme grade 1, seeing as he is a true dragon. True dragons are cheats, I tell you, literally born at the top of the world. I'm a bit of a completionist, so I want to find a way to evolve further, to basically max all my stats out, even if there isn't a need to. It's just something I want to do, an ambition of sorts, something even the legendary Guy Crimson has failed to accomplish. There must be a way to evolve into a supreme grade elemental soul, spirit. After all, with Odin, anything is possible. Now, how's the design of the crystals going so far, Odin? Answer: it has already been completed. Great, now I just need to power these, and put them at the metaphysical edge of the world. But I can do that later. No need to rush after all. I hear Kurumi enter the house. It seems she is back from her adventure. It took her quite a long time. I wonder what she got up to. Raiden should be preparing dinner right about now, so she came back at the right time. I went out to greet Kurumi and was surprised when I found her in a completely new outfit. She was taking out a bunch of bags from her spatial storage when she turned to me. "Ah, master. How do I look?" She did a few poses as I continued to admire her. I give her a thumbs up. "You look great, Kurumi. Modern clothing suits you." She gives me a happy grin while blushing. "Thank you, master. I got even more stuff, come look." She then went on to show me some of the clothing she got. She seriously got a lot of clothes. I'm worried she is going to make Satoru go broke. She even got some rather risque lingerie. Apparently one of the employees at the store she was shopping at said it would blow the mind of any heterosexual male. And she is right. I give her a sagely nod. "It seems you have discovered one of the many hobbies of women, shopping." Indeed. I had an enjoyable time, though people kept asking me for pictures and who I was cosplaying as. Ah, you Japanese people, never change. It doesn't surprise me that she was mistaken for a cosplayer, an especially good one at that due to how realistic she must have looked. Kurumi and I continued to chat while we waited for Raiden to finish making food. I wonder what she is going to cook up with modern ingredients. Apparently Kurumi went shopping at multiple stores. She likely spent a pretty penny for all the stuff she bought. "Master, Kurumi, the food is ready." Kurumi and I took our seats at the dining table as we waited eagerly for the food to be presented to us. We might not need food or sleep to function, but we sure as hell enjoy both of those. Especially food. Food is good. It's the small things that make an immortal life worth living. Once Raiden brought out the food and set it on the table, she said, "I heard you mention once in the past that you enjoy pizza, master, so I made 2 pizzas, along with buffalo wings." I stared at Raiden with stars in my eyes. "Yes. Haha, it's been so long since I've had wings and pizza." "Thanks, Raiden." She bowed as she said, "It was my pleasure, master. I am glad that you are happy with what I made." Kurumi looks interested. If my master enjoys this food so much, then it must be good. Once Raiden took her seat, we all began to dig in. Man, it's been so long since I've had pizza and wings. Truly, Raiden is a gift from the heavens. I think I'd cry if she didn't cook for me anymore. I notice both Raiden and Kurumi are eating their slices of pizza with a fork and knife. Kinda weird, not gonna lie, but they probably don't want to be messy. However, they both seem to be enjoying it. The flavor of buffalo wings is hard to replicate, so they haven't really had anything similar to it in the cardinal world. It's a pretty simple recipe as well. You just need to marinate the chicken in some buttermilk, coat it in flour, then fry it. The buffalo sauce is even easier. You just need hot sauce and butter. A simple dish, but quite delicious. As we were eating, a question popped up in my mind. "By the way, Kurumi, how much money did you spend today?" She wiped her mouth with a napkin. "I think somewhere around 1 million yen." I stare at her in shock. Just what the fuck did she buy? She bought a bunch of clothes, but even then I don't think it should cost that much. Must be the fucking brand. That's around $7,000. That's an absurd amount of money to spend on a shopping trip. Kurumi looked worried upon seeing my expression. "Was that too much, master? I can return the items if you want." I laughed as I said, "Nah, I'm rich as hell now. I was just surprised at how much you spent, but if it makes you happy, then go for it. I may not have a bunch of money in this world, but I do still have a ton of gold in my stomach, though I'd rather not sell that for money that I'll only end up using in this world." Thankfully Satoru came to the rescue with his credit card. Kurumi ended up spending my sugar daddy Satoru's money, but he's a special grade jujutsu sorcerer, and a clan head. I'm sure he's loaded. Kurumi smiled at me happily. "Thank you, master, Gojo Satoru." He stared at his phone screen, almost not believing what he was seeing in his bank account. He closed his phone as he looked up at the sky. "Curse you, Felix. I told you not to spend all of my money. I'm a poor man, you know." Most of his assets were seized when the higher-ups announced him as a curse user. They did previously wield a significant amount of power in Japan, but they weren't able to do anything to the Gojo clan assets as the other clans wouldn't stand for it. But his personal accounts were different, and while he will get those back, it's a somewhat annoying process, so he hasn't started it yet. Along with that, the value of Japanese currency has gone down since Shibuya, just like my Mai said it would. That greedy woman sold all her properties in Japan and exchanged all her yen into other currencies. He didn't think he had an urgent need for money, but apparently he was wrong. Oh well, he can just take some money from one of the Gojo clan accounts. "Mama, what's that?" "Hush, remember, don't be like him in the future." "Okay, Mama." This was all somehow Felix's fault, he just knew it. He had to get back to work now. Civilians are being evacuated so jujutsu sorcerers can deal with the cursed spirits that Kenjaku released more easily. Most were dealt with, but there were some stragglers. All of a sudden I sneezed. Someone must be talking about me. "Are you okay, master?" "Yeah, I'm fine, Raiden, but thanks for asking." We went back to eating our food while talking about all sorts of things. Raiden wanted to go out sometime to try out the food of a bunch of restaurants. She said she might gain some inspiration for a new dish. I seriously need to find a way to go to the world of Food Wars or Toriko. Raiden would thrive in those worlds. Toriko would probably benefit more with all the unique ingredients. The amount of ingredients in that world is absurd, but Food Wars isn't bad either. I might be able to have fun in Toriko as well, since Toriko can scale pretty high, from beings that can wipe out countries, to beings like the gourmet gods that can theoretically eat an entire galaxy. I should still be able to deal with them relatively easily if I had to. I'm broken as hell now. Well, no reason to ponder about that. Odin needs to find the coordinates for that world first. Right now Odin is using my memories to scour the multiverse for worlds similar to my memories, so hopefully I'll end up having a large list of potential worlds to visit. If she can't find a fictional world by the time I want to hop worlds next, I'll just go to one of the worlds Odin has discovered that I don't recognize. Though I don't consider that likely, seeing as Odin should be able to find DXD fairly easily due to Engvold. I honestly just prefer to visit what I previously considered to be fictional worlds first. It's safer that way. Caution is your friend when doing things like traveling worlds. I do want to eventually explore all of Veldenava's creation, I just wish to do so cautiously. I don't want to just randomly hop worlds, who knows where the hell I'll show up. That's why I'm having Odin look for fictional worlds first, as I am able to determine the threat level much easier that way. Those worlds may deviate from what is considered canon, but I'll still have a far better idea of the threat level than some random unknown world. And while I am capable of almost instantly teleporting back to the Cardinal world if I have to, who knows if someone in another world has a way to stop that. The multiverse is massive. It would be foolish of me to not consider the possibility that when I randomly jump worlds, I may show up in a world with beings on my level, if not higher, and they might be able to sense my arrival and consider me a foreign invader and attempt to deal with me. They might even have a way to prevent me from jumping back to the Cardinal world, though I don't think that is very likely. But according to Odin, it is still theoretically possible if someone has the same or higher level authority over space-time as I do, thanks to our Ouroboros. It's best to be safe with these kinds of things. I'm not in a hurry. I have a basically immortal life to explore other worlds, so I'll just have Odin search for worlds until I feel like I am capable of handling any sort of threat that appears. According to Odin, I am also capable of leaving this multiverse altogether with our Ouroboros, though Odin highly suggested I do not do that, and I agree with her. Who the fuck knows what's out there? There might be other multiverses like Marvel and DC, but along with that there could also be a whole lot of nothingness. And seeing what our Ouroboros is named after, I feel like there might be some tentacle monsters out there as well. Fuck that. But I do eventually want to leave this multiverse and see what's out there, though I'll only consider such a notion when I'm basically omnipotent, and who knows if that'll ever happen. Oh well, I'll just enjoy the journey. I also feel like I haven't been using our Ouroboros to its full potential. I've been using the same old tricks, which is definitely unacceptable, but in my defense I haven't really needed to branch out, as no one I've met is really capable of pushing me beyond my limits at this point, except Guy and the True Dragons. And I don't see myself fighting any of them for no reason. Still, I have so many fictional works that I can take inspiration from, so I definitely need to test some more stuff out at some point, if only for fun. What other types of food would you like me to make for you while we are here, Master? I turn towards Raiden as I consider what to respond with. I don't really have much of a preference. Anything you make is great, so just make whatever you feel like. Raiden smiled as she said, I see. I will endeavor to not disappoint you, Master. I gave her a thumbs up before I went back to eating my food. It didn't take me long to finish my portion of the food. Alright, I'll be in my room if you two need anything. Before I could leave, Raiden said, would you like some company tonight, Master? Huh? Is she asking what I think she's asking? Era, how bold, Raiden. Even Kurumi is surprised. It is a maid's duty to take care of all of her master's needs. Since the others are not here for that, it falls to me to accomplish such a duty. I'm not really interested if she's doing it just out of duty. You don't have to force yourself, Raiden. I can live without getting laid for a while. I don't want you to do such a thing out of duty for me. I see. If it was not solely out of duty but my selfish desire, then? In such a scenario, I'd say I'd be honored. Raiden blushed as she smiled. I see. Thank you, Master. She's saying thank you? Man, she's way into this maid thing. I'll be in my room. As I was leaving, I could hear Kurumi and Raiden talking in hushed whispers, but I didn't listen in. I knew Raiden was interested in me, but to think she would ask such a thing now. Oh well, I'm not complaining. She was direct about it, and she's an absolute bombshell. 10/10. Actually, all of my subordinates are 10s. I'm really living the Isekai dream. Once I got to my room, I changed into some sleepwear and then went on my phone. One thing I've missed is memes. Memes are truly one of the modern world's greatest creations. I kept giggling to myself as I waited for Raiden to show up. Along with looking at memes, social media is a good way to learn what's going on in the world. Sure, a lot of the stuff may be false, but it's a good way to figure out public opinion. For one, most people are shit scared. The fact that Shibuya is basically off the map is known all throughout the world. People are terrified that there are people out there that can do such a thing casually. It's a valid fear. Then there were others that just didn't seem to give a shit about anything. My broadcast was leaked out to foreign governments.